Get ready for the final round. Match in overtime.
Team there ties the game. Are you a betting man, Harry?
You assume I favor one side over the other. You know me better than that, Sam. Besides, I left my wallet at home.
Attackers, prepare for insertion. Team mirror to the map. Team Ash has breached the map.
Joker, now.
Roger. Let's go fishing.
Good to go, Jordan.
Copy that.
Three attackers remaining.
Callie, I need cover! We're pinned down, Callie! Get us out of here!
Rocat. Experience precision.
Tango in my sights.
Now it's time for new belt Nitro Signal, and he fell for it. He's looking to give coverage for his teammate, right? Can he lock it down? Yes, he can, but the swing's in. Triple for him. Shaq. No time. Pun has to swing in. Jordy's pulled off. He won it. Around.
Camera in position!
Get behind me!
Tango located!
Hostiles in sight!
A new week of the Rocket LPL Pro Rainbow Six competition presents new and unique opportunities for upsets and map wins. We're back, Cthulhu. We're getting into week 4, of course, and there is so much that could happen tonight.
Oh yeah, look, the whole leaderboard so far is still extremely volatile. We've seen a number of upsets, a number of, well, risings and falls as well. But as it stands, well, it's still very much shaky and a lot of things could really be changed tonight.
You know what isn't changing, though? It's the tournament format. It's pretty simple. 8 teams playing 7 weeks, a best-of-1 round robin. At the end of that 7 weeks, we head into playoffs. 4 teams in the top 4 obviously make it through to that. 2 semi-finals, best-of-3 format leading up to the grand final. And, of course, it's about the money at the end of the day. There is a prize pool. First place will walk away with $1,200. Second, get $900. And then third and fourth both walk away with $450 at the end of it all. It's been a very interesting competition so far, though.
Absolutely, yeah, look, the hunt for the first place is still very much at all-time high, and a number of teams could really go in for the big win.
And speaking of big win, you at home can go for the big win as well. Make sure you tweet at us, of course, at LPL_R6S using the hashtag LPLR6S. Tell us which map you think is the best in Rainbow Six Siege and why, of course. We like to have a bit of fun here, so fun answers are good, serious answers are good. We want to know what you think, of course, and you might win yourself 2,400 Rainbow Six credits and get yourself featured on the broadcast. So make sure you're actively tweeting at us, and we might see some of you guys later on. But Cthulhu, the maps that were played were rather interesting last week. Let's get on into the highlights and see just how play day 3 went. Odium came out swinging, taking down Zelios. They played a hell of a game, but in saying that, Zelios gave us a bit of a show.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Zelios came into the match to have fun, and well, fun was had in plentiful amounts. And look, by the end of it, obviously, it did conclude in a 7-3 scoreline, I believe, but Zelios still managed to keep each and one of those rounds nice and snappy.
And we got to see the wonderful Mackenzie Blitz play down in the basement. Unfortunately, couldn't pull out the round win. Almost wiped the team on his own, if not for the efforts of Ed Pan. Look at him, he was being absolutely bullied, shut down finally. But our second match of the day, we had a bit of an upset. Underground Gaming, who've been looking very good, shut down by Team 7.
Yeah, Team 7 kind of pulled up some absolutely phenomenal plays, honestly, and the way how they've done it was absolutely spectacular. With Underground no more being kind of playing flawless, well, that was their fall. On the side of Antic versus 1620 Kings, though, it was a rather entertaining matchup.
They came in today. They'd obviously made the agreement beforehand. We're going to have a bit of fun. We started off with an eye fight. We got to see Nasi hit one of the best aces so far in the competition. One of the only aces in the competition. He clutched up in a big way for the team, of course, and this is where our leaderboard sits as of today. Right now, Odium sitting top of the table, which, I mean, that is appropriate given they finished Nationals second overall this stage. Underground Esports Club in second, Vodafone Warriors third, Altered Zalios in fourth, Antic Team 7, Onami and 1620 Kings rounding out the lobby. 1620 Kings tonight looking to try and pick up their first win, of course, but let's take a look at our matches for tonight. That's where things are going to get interesting. It's going to be an interesting one, of course, because 1620 Kings, they've looked good. They have looked phenomenal the last couple of weeks, and we have some inside information. One of their players from the core roster is going to be joining tonight, who holds a specific record in the Challenge League. And there you go, matches on our screen. Odium versus Team 7 first, Altered Zalios versus 1620 Kings second. Unfortunately, Onami could not field the full roster and have forfeited against Antic, and then rounding it out, Underground Esports Club versus Vodafone Warriors. Any match that captures your eye?
Honestly, I'm quite curious to see how will Odium play versus Team 7, given that Team 7 so far kind of managed to actually show some really good performances. Apart from that, the Underground versus Warriors is going to be another matchup that I'm actually quite keen to see, because purely for the fact that, well, for Underground, the only way to really describe this, their last matchup, is they completely flogged it. When it came down to the defensive half, they looked completely just lost, really. And so going against Warriors, a team that kind of plays in a similar playstyle as how did Team 7, I actually reckon, well, Underground's unfortunate loss streak could actually keep on continuing.
Let's get into our first matchup, though, of course. It's Odium taking on Team 7, one that we're most excited by. And to compound that excitement, we have Pants, the captain, or the coach rather, for Odium, joining in to play for the first time playing comp since the end of Stage 2 Challenge League last year.
Yeah, look, the actual OG of the scene, the man has been everywhere throughout the whole of OC's competitive siege, and look, absolutely a talented gamer, talented man, and honestly an absolute fiend when it comes down to even just the strats and being that super coach as well. So honestly, really excited to see how will Pans be able to perform for the roster. Apart from that, Odium itself, look, a team that at least within the context of LPL Pro, have had a bit of a hiccup here and there, but overall now going into last week, now going into this week, could possibly just continue that streak of wins for themselves and just keep on rolling.
And their opponents tonight, Team 7, who picked up their first win last week over Underground Esports Club. It's Campo, Phoenix, Sealy, who had a massive week for himself, Worm and User TM coming in to join the roster. The young gunners stepped up in a big way. Campo playing babysitter led them to that victory, of course, and they could come in tonight and carry that upset trend going.
It's actually kind of funny. We at the very beginning of the season, we talked about the fact that, you know, the remnants of the Bandits roster. This is basically the ex-Bandits roster now all coming together yet again, as UZTM does join the roster. Apart from that, honestly, I reckon we could be still seeing a rather interesting match. That, though, depends on how will, obviously, User perform, because the rest of the team already proven that they can do. Sealy, like you highlighted, a huge, phenomenal player there for the roster. Worm took a bit of a time to warm up within the context of the previous match, but after that was actually able to contribute rather well to the roster.
And let's have a look at our head-to-head matchups. And you speak of OG, well, we're getting a bit of OG, of course. Pence, formerly of the Big Dogs roster, replacing one of his former teammates tonight, is going to be in play alongside Logic. Look, you got to remember, he stepped back Stage 2 for the Big Dogs, became the coach and analyst for the team. His first play day back with the team, he set a kill record in Challenger League.
Absolutely, yeah, look, the man is an absolute gamer, let's just call it that. And when it comes down to fragging, he could do a big amount of damage to Team 7. On the side of Sealy, though, it's mainly just the fact that he is extremely mechanically gifted. As a player, as a fragger, he could be the reasoning why Team 7 get a lot of those big openings for the rest of the team to push. So I am very much curious to see how will this go, how will this just rivalry in general will go, because there's still quite a long road for Odium to ensure themselves a really just calm road ahead.
And what's interesting to me is where we're going to be heading, of course. Let's get onto the map vetoes and see where we're going to be playing today. No skyscraper. Obviously, Odium have done their homework. But we head back to Chalet, which is an interesting prospect given both teams' history on this map.
Yeah, look, I mean, Team 7 did manage to surpass Underground last week on this very map, Chalet, where they managed to look actually quite well on the attack. And so, whereas on the side of Odium, look, Chalet is one of those key maps, just in general, for their pool. Plus, that's where Pants was able to perform quite a number of times back on the Big Dogs roster. So, it's one of those cases where, for both rosters, this is a very much of a safe ground. This is a comfort map pick. And from here on out, it's very much a question of confidence.
Well, we're going to chill out. We're going to jump into Chalet, of course, the French Alps. So rug up, get yourself nice and close to that fire, grab your hot cocoa, and let's the bloodbath begin. We're going to be jumping into this matchup. Odium versus Team 7 on one of the newer maps in the comp pool. I mean, this is a map that has, a number of different approaches to it, and both teams could bring out some very experimental plays.
Yeah, I'm expecting a very heavy buck play from Sealy, that's for sure. Apart from that, Team 7 going on the defensive side first. I'm actually quite curious how will the defense side, or rather, yeah, the defense side and the bans will go. Because obviously both rosters have a decent knowledge about their opponents, but obviously with Odium having Pants on board, rather large brain activity is there going. So, with Thatcher gone.
Already a bit of disrespect to Edpan. Okay.
Hey, yo, okay, right.
Chill. We don't need that right now. What we need is some great Rainbow Six action. And already we see Thatcher banned out, like you said, followed up by the Nook.
I like that. I like that idea a lot. Odium fully acknowledging how dangerous Nook could be. Could have certainly thrown in the spanner in the works of their defense later down the line. So certainly they would want to get rid of the Danish operator. So as Valkyrie's gone, no more of that flexible utility placement in form of those Valkyrie cameras, plus the C4, plus the MPX. Just the whole loadout is just absolutely deadly. As the final ban, though, we do get Mira, funnily enough. So, well, Kate is back on board. Maverick is still on board. So, generally speaking, it's, in the grand scheme of things, I don't think it will be a big damage to the whole play. As so his freeze frame is rather funny, I have to say that.
Unfortunate as it is, and you can see Team 7 on your screen, looking to get eager and in the action. We get on into it with Master, Bedroom, and Office first, with Odium starting out on the attack. And I mean, that has to favour them a little bit here.
Yeah, look, to a certain degree. Albeit, Odium, I would imagine, yeah, would be rather happy to play this side out. I am, though, quite interested about this lineup of the defense from T7, because it's kind of... Well, it's somewhat, it's a meta pick with, you know, the Cade, the Wamai, the Smoke. Melusi does kind of fit in. The pick for Worm, though, the introduction of Warden feels a little bit almost unnecessary, but at the same time, the play for Smokes could certainly come out here rather thorough, or even just the sheer dump of the flashbang. So, assumption is that he will play somewhere close by in the angles and just essentially playing for the fact that once those Wamai magnets will be exhausted, he will have his glasses to essentially counter the flashbangs.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, no real smokes coming into play other than that of Campo, of course. But I mean, he's not even bringing the shield. It's the Nitro cell for him instead. So I think maybe just preference in terms of the gun availability is what has prompted this decision. So I'm intrigued to see where he's going to be playing, what his role in this lineup is going to be. You can see him and User TM looking to get aggressive over towards Solarium, but again, I'm interested to see where it fits, but I'm not quite sure myself.
Absolutely, yeah. Look, I will be quite rather curious myself as to how it will really play out. A cheeky position. I mean, Worm. Look, yeah, buddy. Yeah, there we go. Finally, the glasses do get kicked in. A bit of a weird position because technically now he's rather. It's difficult for him to bail out for this exact spot, and yeah, Twent rather easily frags out the man, as he unfortunately quartered himself into a rather unfortunate situation. Now, with User being kind of the only person actually holding the fort, he should be relatively easily fragged out here, given he's in that small buffer room. So a single frag grenade pre-cooked will be good, but that is completely unnecessary. Phoenix is down by 20.
Twent will finally fall to use a TM, who bags himself a double pants, just getting a bit too eager,
got
and
a
that's
diffuser.
diffuser control as well. 90 seconds still remaining in play here, Cthulhu. They've got the EE1D. Well, actually, sorry, they do have logic on the finger there as well. So the Chimera Duo in play. But I mean, that's a lot of damage. User will finally go down, courtesy of logic. The LMG playing out absolutely hugely there. But no toxic canisters in play could make this hard for Team 7.
As long as the angles are being held, this is all that is going to matter there. Edpan will try to play in tandem here with Logic maybe, but completely misses out on swing by Campo, which does free up the stairs by the Solarium even further. Now between Soya and Edpan, neither of them have managed to even make it inside the building, so it will be an attempt to try to maybe make a play later down the line. Curious though if there's going to be any sort of success, because with 46 seconds remaining, yeah, look, exactly for these kind of positions, you should keep your eye out, and well, that does leave Sawyer all alone, albeit he is on full HP, so there's still plenty of possibilities and opportunities for the clutch play, albeit, again, not particularly likely.
He's going to get himself out of the highway there. The crossfire looking lethal from Team 7. 24 seconds remaining, so he's going to have to make a play. Looks to spot the angle. Shots going out, but Sealy prone, covering the angle, denies the opportunity. Team 7, pick up round 1.
Maybe soon there will be team number 1 at least on the leaderboard if they keep at it like this. But yeah, look, a good start for the play, managing to isolate each and one of the ODM players, and it feels like a little bit of a misplay there between Twent and Pants, just pushing in towards the position of User, who just kept on holding. And I mean, theoretically, the gunfight potential was certainly more so in favor of Odium, both of the guns having a slightly higher DPM than, DPS rather, than the Cade's Org. Well, felt rather unfortunate there for them, but they're looking to remedy that, albeit this is the site that is quite rather difficult to wedge out if played correctly here. And Team 7 so far, I mean, managed to prove that they can at least back up their play and back up their talk with the fragging potential.
Yeah, I mean, it's a double-edged sword, this site. It can be very hard to, yes, wedge the defenders out, but you can also smash onto the site in quick succession, and then it can be quite hard for the defenders to then remedy that and try and take the site back. So it's going to be interesting to see how they play this one out. Already we see Ed switching off onto the Osa, and Twent picking himself up the Zofia to be added to this combo right now. But again, Worm is sticking with the Warden.
Yeah, the Warden pick feels more so kind of leaning towards maybe the idea of possibly just a 1.5 times scope for the MPX, albeit it feels rather almost too niche in saying that. But the C4 is nice and all, but User doesn't really last for long at that position. Wait, how did he get fragged out? Wait. Oh, okay, right, through the window. Okay, thank you. Thank you, Sky.
Sky, he's a man of many talents. But
yeah.
Cade off the board, that's one of your nitro cells. There's still 3 in play, though, so Team 7 have opportunities to threaten from below.
Still, though, I mean, User was the person who basically acquired that diffuser and basically forced the play around his position rather than around the actual site. So it did limit ODM's options back in the previous round quite severely. So with that being kind of avoided, or rather one of these players being completely avoided, it's a good day.
I'm beginning to wonder if maybe it's a bit of, the result of doing the VOD work, and what a shot from Ed Pan to take down Campo. That's another nitro cell off the board for 0 investment. But we have seen Odium like to bring out the Ying on the attack, so I'm wondering if this is a preemptive measure that Odium have counter-read into and said, well, we don't need it.
Yeah, Chalet is one of those maps that Ying feels a little bit almost redundant in the grand scheme of things, and yeah, it feels more so like it needs to play into a very niche kind of set of plays, which I think, yeah, Odium could very much completely circumvent and avoid, and that kind of plays really, really well. And better yet, as soon as they see that Worm hasn't picked the Warden, that's where the Ying could really come out. So they're playing essentially for the fact that, oh, well, we're not bringing out the Ying, well, why are you bringing in the Warden then?
Yeah, it's just all counterplay and bait and switch. Low health bars for Worm and Phoenix, and it is going to cost Worm his life, courtesy of Logic and his big box machine gun. Ed looking to push in through West Main, has control of it for now and does have a shield in pocket. Phoenix, despite being low, will finish off Logic. Concussion coming in from Twent, unfortunately going to have it in the back. Phoenix good for 2 though. That's massive, taking it down to a 3 versus 2. This is contestable. Sawyer on the plant, making sure that this diffuser goes down. 30 seconds now in play, going to be reverted back in favour of the attackers. They know where the defenders are going to be coming from. Sealy has to go huge. Unfortunately, Phoenix being shut down leaves Sealy alone to try and clutch up. And, well, the LMG, you hold mouse 1, don't walk back into the stream. It's never a good idea.
Yeah, LMG once again proves to be a extremely deadly and difficult to counter piece of weaponry in Rainbow Six Siege, and well, Odium do manage to revive themselves back onto a side that we usually kind of dub the side of death. So with that kind of out of the way, we are moving onwards towards bar and gaming room. So in saying that, albeit a lot of teams do play it very almost claustrophobically, or very close to heart, kind of. You have the presence, obviously, on the site itself, you have presence on the mezzanine, you have some presence in the library, and, well, library stairs. That's about it, in a very limited space. So I hope that well, for Team 7's sake, they would have a little bit more of an extension towards, say, maybe even the piano, maybe even playing for the ground floor, say something like a kitchen, but it is a little bit difficult to make those rotations kind of in a similar way of how, say, on Villa, you could literally play on the opposite side of the map and start congestion of the whole map just starting from there. You can't really do that here on Chalet, purely for the fact that there's, even if you try to grab a hold of any, well, a plethora of those different rooms, you could get flooded from so many directions that it's borderline impossible to come out of it without any sort of damage.
Interesting. A shield not picked up here by User. He's going for the barbed wire instead, so they're going to have to rely on Campo shield at the top of library stairs. It's all about shuffle. It's all about managing resources, and they've done that quite well. Jaeger, where my combo. Phoenix going to kick it off with a spawn peek, and that is Logic. Your Finker down.
Yeah, with Finker down, it's rather unfortunate for Logic, albeit I nearly kind of mentioned as well last round. It's kind of funny that Logic is no more on the line, because you remember the ye old Big Dogs days. He was the line main for Big Dog's roster, and seeing him kind of almost mature into now a Finker pick, look, it's a good change.
Well, I mean, that's one of the greatest things we've seen about this Odium roster. You remember Elements joining the team. He developed into an absolutely stunning smoke and maverick player for the team. He's now playing for Kraken Esports. And Odium, with this new roster with Shaq and Logic, they themselves, again, have developed into these absolutely astounding players. And look, it's culminated. They finished second in the Nationals this stage. They got relegated at the end of last year to second overall.
Quite a kind of from rags to riches almost kind of story there for Odium, especially on their revival, on their play. But in the context of LPL Pro, look, they've had a okay run. Apart from a hiccup here and there, it's been a relatively good performance. I will be, though, really curious about how will Odium play against a team like, say, Underground Esports, but could certainly be a completely different thing. But oh no, Pants. Oh no, Pants! Trapped and then gassed. Unfortunate demise is met, and so did the Twin go down to the hands of Campo. All of a sudden, Odium kind of being picked apart don't look too hot, really.
Oh, that's unfortunate. Sawyer alone. I mean, he is the captain. Unfortunately, can't do much against Phoenix, and Team 7 will win round 3 as well. Going up, doubling their round count, and look at them. They're smiles across the board. They're pretty stoked with how things are going.
Yeah, having a good time, having a good chat. On the side of Odium, though, it's a little bit more of a kind of a focused, concentrated talk. Yes, it's obviously annoying and frustrating that, you know, the round was lost the way it did, but ultimately it's nothing tragic just yet for them.
What is going to be tragic, though, is I don't think Team 7 know what they're in for once they head over to the attack. Pants back on an SAS operator with the SMG-11 and M590. I mean, you remember that iconic match on Villa, that master bedroom door. He found 4 kills as smoke from that one position. So I think Team 7, once they head onto the attack, they could be in for a bit of a surprise.
Absolutely. Albeit, a number of the players from Team 7 do quite frequently engage in some discussions and talks about anything competitive Siege, so I would imagine that they would be at least somewhat knowledgeable about the absolute power potential that comes from Pants. We'll have to wait and see if that is actually going to come to fruition. Apart from that, I mean, yeah, Team 7, they kept themselves pretty well composed overall and kind of ended up shutting down a number of those really big aggro plays from Odium that I don't think would have been initially expected, but the way how it's been played against Team 7, it has been relatively easy to read into.
Yeah, look, Phoenix, I respect the attempt, but it cannot be understated. They are playing against one of the best in-game leaders in the Nationals competition and one of the best coaches in the Nationals competition. Now playing as well today. So not only have you got one voice, you've got two of the most sound competitive voices in the game. So yes, you might get that one pick in that last round, but if you try it again, it's not happening.
Indeed. Curious how we are going to be seeing how will the rest of the game really progress. But as it stands, Phoenix looking to go in for the run out. In comes the swing. Does find one, cannot find two. Poor Pats just keeps on being bullied. The Yana plays are going to be denied as well. That run out, though, that was a big, very impactful one as well. On top of it, Twent left on not a whole lot of HP, means that, yes, whilst the boost will be able to get him back up into the swing of things, it won't be full HP. So the next gunfight will definitely be kept at quite a bit of a health deficit.
Also means they've got limited information gathering potential. That Pants is off the board with the Gemini replicator, so they are going to have to, they're going to have to make something happen right now. There's a lot of potential upset plays. A look at that walking onto the site. Twent as well to find the kill on to use TM. Unfortunately, Logic is not quite as sneaky as he thought he was. Will be shut down in the master bedroom. The push to come. They know that they are being encroached upon right now. They've lost control of that walk-in closet. Twent, if he can find a kill here, just like he's done at a Campo. That shield as well from Edpan is moving up currently, plus that repel on the double. Twent for a quad. Surely. He could be on for the ace right now. Sealy, where's he going to peek? Sawyer's covering the cross. The plant goes down. Twent, no, he's denied, but it's still 4 that he's good for. Sealy now has to clutch up against 2. 1 on the repel, 1 behind the shield. Eddie has all the advantage. Sealy is just going to snake his way across. If he can get in here, go for that defuse, he might just be able to play it. He's swinging in behind Ed. Ed, he has to hit his shots here. Sealy's good, but Sealy, he takes some damage from the window. Sawyer may have just spelt doom for Team 7 here, and Edpan closes it out. Odium will equalise.
Well, that was a much nicer play, and yeah, look, a play from Twent. Local man just gets angry about the run out and just decides to nearly wipe the whole enemy team. I'd say that's a pretty good storyline in the news line there for Odium's performance so far. But I mean, yeah, that is a good way to really bring yourself back into the swing of things, back into the play. With the 2-2 scoreline, though, I do have to say I am rather impressed with how Team 7 been able to handle the sheer heat from Odium.
I'm really enjoying this match. I've got to be honest. It's not the old Zelia. Antic 16-20 Kings match. It's not full meme fest, but this is some great Siege. I really enjoy casting it. I did not expect it to be this competitive. I thought it was just going to be, probably Odium coming out of the gate with an absolute slam, but Team 7, they're stepping up in a big way this week, and they are looking to take down the Titans.
Yeah, look, absolutely. I mean, they're already taken technically the previous quote-unquote Titans, the Underground, the team that was able to claim an OCN name and an OCL name. So far, so good. And honestly, look, a team that is composed from the players that have been in the competitive scene of ANZ in general for quite a while, it does make sense that they would have at least some good understanding of how to play against teams like Odium, who also consist of quite a pretty fabled roster. I'll say that. So, yeah, good form so far from Team 7, but again, I am very curious how will their attack really go against Odium, given all the circumstances. And Odium in general, they have been able to show us some really nice defense rounds as well previously.
I'm really liking the aggression off the spawn from Team 7. They are looking for early damage where they can find it. It's constant searching for, spawn peaks, run-outs, attempts of that nature. And they've already found 2 very, very big rounds because of it. Unfortunately, they couldn't win the round because Twent is an absolute demon. But it shows that Team 7 want to dictate the pace of a round, which is exactly what you want in a match of this caliber.
Yeah, Twent has been kind of going ballistic. Not anymore, at least within this round, as Sealy just absolutely donks him on the forehead. Not really leaving a whole lot of chances for the hard breaching, because that's your only hard breacher completely gone, meaning, well, Odium will be forced to play for those rather frustratingly annoying choke points that have been set up already. Phoenix has a nice angle onto the double door, and instead it's going to be a push towards the mezzanine. But you look at just the sheer heavy dedication of that utility towards the wine cellar wall, and it's just almost feels like an impenetrable fortress.
Well, it certainly is now. No thermite, no secondary hard breach gadgets. I mean, we've transitioned from, last year you were seeing teams run secondary, tertiary hard breaches and lineups to, Chalet being run as almost a solo hard breach map. You're not delving as deep into things right now, but I'm wondering if maybe we see the return of the Maverick in later rounds, especially for someone like Logic, who really has made a name for himself in the national competition on that operator. But right now, they've obviously identified the point of egress. It is going to be just punching straight down those fireplace stairs if possible. Well,
they have the opportunity of even later down the line bringing in somebody like an Ace would be a decent idea as well. With the phenomenal gun, the utility, everything is there, so certainly a lot of possibilities. Logic nearly forfeited that whole gunfight, but thankfully for himself and thankfully for Odium being able to keep on applying the push and the pressure. Now, Campo, his position is going to be rather huge here. If the push from the main stairs will be successful, this could be big. Sawyer, oi, 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 oi. Can't connect the shots. Instead, it's Logic actually gets the better of Worm.
I think that might be the game plan, just be a distraction. Sealy with the kill onto Pants. 3 versus 2 is doable. Do they have any information on Campo? The pre-fire, it's too little too late. Logic will answer back his third in the round. He's going to have to hit nothing but headshots from here on out. Goes for the wall bang through the bin, but it's not where User is currently. Behind the snowmobile, and it's cowboy time. The revolver out, 6 shooter in hand, and Team 7 will go up 3-2.
Absolutely. Well, good job by Team 7, keeping up this sort of pressure. Now, if they do make it a 4-2 scoreline, this could actually still be relatively workable for them to keep on, applying more and more pressure onto Odium, because evidently, look, we did hype up Pants, but at least on the offense, things been a little bit less fortunate for the man. But, well, I do believe that, once we move over to the defense, it will be a little bit more of a easier time for now the coach of Odium Esports Club to be able to perform. But Team 7, look, I was initially a doubter, not anymore it seems.
Oh, even back in the big dogs days, Pants was never really at the forefront on the tag. He was the hard supporter, if I remember correctly, traditionally playing with your Hibana, your hard breacher. But when he headed over to the defense, you give him a smoke, you give him a mute. My God, that man could make miracles happen. So I'm hoping that once we see the transition over the defense, we see him pick it up once again. But right now, look, he's just doing what he's needed to do.
Absolutely. And it's not like he's completely just out of the game. He still ends up dedicating quite a fair bit of utility, quite a fair bit of calling and information gathering as well. It's not as well reflected on the actual leaderboard.
Can't find this drone. He's not having a good time.
User down bad, as per usual, though, that is. So
look,
nothing too new.
Man stays true to character as Logic's drone is just sitting there on top of the shelf. They still haven't reinforced that fireplace wall. They've got the option to go for an aggressive angle there. Toxic Canister's already being committed onto that gaming window. That is early utility usage that could come back to bite Team 7 later in the round.
Oh, yeah.
They've already forfeited library.
Oh, my. Yeah, that's a big, albeit the funny thing is that Odium still don't know about that presence, and the frag grenades won't really be, forcing anyone out of that position. Worms, though, place here could really shut things down because, well, the shots and the traces have been found. And yeah, Logic not particularly enjoying his time against Phoenix, who's just been absolutely doinking his opponent. And what is this jiggle peak fight between Worm and... Oh, he nails it.
Twin.
There it is, GN. Bye.
It does cost him a significant portion of his health. He's going to die to Edpan after the fact. Phoenix as well, on the ground, unfortunately, may not be recoverable at this stage. And yeah, they've obviously decided, especially with Edpan covering that angle, that Phoenix may just enter the void. Pants will finish him off, getting aggressive. Eddie there as well, trying to clear out some of that utility. They want to contest top fireplace for now. Pan's a little pop nade into gaming itself. He might look to just jump straight in. User only has the one toxic canister as well.
A bit big, yeah, but with User getting the better of Pans, this is actually big as well. There's still presence on the top of the stairs, but it seems like it's a complete walk-in directly into the side. Oh no, Sawyer completely overwhelmed on that position. That's one though, two for Eddie. Can he find another one though? That is a big one. Silly, full HP impact there. Gotta catch them all. He sure does do that. Indeed, he does. And well, yeah, Eddie not particularly enjoying the Pokemon experience.
Yeah, look, Team 7, they're embracing it. They're embracing their nature. They're playing the run-out game, the spawn peak game. They are embracing ranked tactics right now. They were known for being ranked demons, and why not stick with it? If it works for you, make it work for you. And already a 4-2 scoreline from the defensive Chalet. Odium are reeling.
Exactly. Look, yeah, a team that... honestly, just, well, we called them kind of the team that's supposed to be on the top of the leaderboard. Kind of at the moment struggling, really, with their performance, with their positionings. But maybe it's just more so not them struggling. It's more so just Team 7 being rather quite difficult to read into. So maybe later down the line we could see some changes really happen. But, I mean, apart from that, we talk about the way how Team 7 have been playing. That sheer extra aggression has been allowing a lot more movement and generating that space for that movement, that extra ground, that extra positioning did, well, help Team 7 quite a whole lot. And I mean, with Phoenix getting consistently the kills onto players like Logic, getting that Finka out of the equation, pretty much negated completely that whole health buffer that could have been made by the CBRN operator.
I mean, the wild thing is, if you think about it historically, Exto, which, I mean, Sawyer, Edpan, Twin, Mitchie and Geordie at the time, were back in the day where Team 7 are now. They were similar, almost in exactly how they played, exactly the way they approached the game. But now Odium have had that high-level experience. They play a much more structured game given the nature of their opponents, and they've forgotten the ways of the ranked warrior.
Yeah, they've forgotten the ways of all the just swing everything, face check everything. Maybe, I mean, we are going to be seeing them embrace that very thing on the defense, given that, I mean, Logic brought out the Oryx. We do see Pants on the DMR, and instead it's just a bit of a cheeky trade in a couple of shots.
You take that, though. Unfortunately, they lose 20 off the back of it. But the initial kill was good. They took down Worm, no more Finka, and it leaves Pants and Sawyer to hold on right now. And this could get a bit dicey if we're being honest with ourselves.
Certainly does. Pants gonna try to win a swing. No, completely not even being allowed to fire any more than 1 or 2 shots, and does leave Sawyer all to just his devices. Not really the kind of turnout that you wanted to see, and completely overwhelmed he is. Phoenix is the one to finish him off. I gotta say it, Team 7 so far looking rather strong.
Yeah, I think you put it down to it's great having Pants back in comp, but in replacing Shaq, they play two diametrically opposed operators.
Yeah.
You know, and roles in the team. Shaq is playing that lurk, he's playing a Yagi, he's playing aggressive, sort of that fill on. He plays the Maverick on the attack. Whereas, you know, Pants, he was more of your support role, more of your smoke, your mute on the defense, and that's the role that Twent plays currently. So it's unfortunate, and they will change things up a little bit. Cade for Pants and Capcan for Sawyer.
Curious about the Capcan pick, honestly, because that's from Odium, that's a really heavy lean into the trap meta. In introducing the Legion, whose gun is already pretty good. The whole, well, obviously, loadout is quite nice.
It's almost entirely trap operator.
Yeah, true. Even technically, yeah, you could technically put a Rooney in that kind of same ball as well, with her utility. But I rate this because basically what Odium are trying to make a play for is, well, they can't really per se take on head-on this push and the play and the aggression from Odium. No, not Odium. Team 7. I'm just completely brain dead.
They are
Sorry.
battling themselves a bit.
Yeah. And Team 7 being that aggressive, look, they are bound to either jump into at least one of those frost mats, bound to at least walk into one of those Capkin traps, which in the grand scheme of things will allow Odium to play a little bit more of a favorable gunfight for themselves.
Phoenix 10-5 currently, a 2.0 KD is really just stacking up the numbers, catches the back of Pants, but he 180s and hits them with the shot. The Inox engaged means that he can't quite see the lands his shot. Pants, he's finally on the board.
Pants being finally on board is great. And certainly a great start. The rust is finally being shaken off is all great and all, but look, still a 2v5 scoreline. Not particularly the one that Odium would have wanted to see, but something that they will have to, I suppose, cope with and try to deal with. User on the LMG play decides to just play full for the size of his cojones and try to reload in the middle of the doorway, for which he gets granted that reload. Pants, though, on that lurk could actually do a whole lot of damage, but again, he will need to be sharp and will need to make sure that he has his, well, trigger discipline all sorted.
Yeah, he spots it now. The kill you're looking for, equalized now, redeeming himself in the round. And they've got so much still to do. Pants is a known quantity. He's just going to tuck himself here in back stock, and you can see the roof above him opening up. Worm in danger, being tagged heavily by Twent at the cost of a significant portion of his health. The player advantage is there. Campo reads into the wrong position for Pants right now. If Pants can make a play, this done into backstop. Pants is going to run. Campo tailing and will finally get the kill. But again, significant investment of health on that play.
Oh, man. Yeah, Odium not particularly having a fun time just yet in a 2v2 situation. Sealy, the man who has been on an absolute ripper of a performance, looking to rip into Odium even more, possibly score that match point for his team. Whereas on the side of ODM, Twent and Edpan, I mean, the two players that can do that damage certainly could make it work. And I mean, Twent has been on already quite a huge game for himself. It's just more so about whether they will be able to close out this round. If Odium can strike a third point for themselves right here, right now, I reckon they could actually still bring it back.
Definitely. But time is just going to keep ticking away. Those goo mines just stacking up across the map and around the bomb site. The EDDs as well that need to be a concern. 20 seconds left in the round, and it seems that Team 7 might have to force the issue right now. Sealy looking for angles, but it's Eddie. Good for one. Is he good for more? He's tucked himself back in towards the kitchen. Campo hits the goo mine. Twent finds the kill, and Odium will find themselves another round here. They're not out of it just yet.
Exactly that. Certainly a bit of a return to form there, with only 2 rounds differential here now being introduced by Odium. Still might be looking at a full set of rounds to be played out, possibly, only possibly for the time being. Master Bedroom in office, though. From Odium, I reckon we could be seeing some really, really solid performances. I mean, the lineup that they are bringing in is a very sound. On the side of T7, though, also a very sound set of operators. I mean, the Ace, the Jackal, the Finker, to just name a few, and then there's Zafia and Ayana to back that up. I mean, pretty much the whole lineup of Team 7 is screaming a good kind of mediation of utility and a heavy, heavy lean into the fragging ability.
Oh yeah, I mean, that was always going to be the play for Team 7. They're a team that relies on their fragging mechanics. Like you said, they're incredibly mechanically gifted. So when it comes down to it, they are going to be a bit of a force to be reckoned with on those one-on-one gunfights. So if Odium want to win here, they need to play the utility game, the strategy game. They need to be able to give themselves that breathing room so that when the gunfights do come, they can take them comfortably. Round 9 upon us, Cthulhu. I mean, again, Team 7, 1 round, they get themselves map point. Pants relocating the Artillery Claw there.
Yeah, Artillery Claw could be a big way to play this out. Honestly, could be keen to see how well Pants's ways of hiding the utility could be working out rather well. But as it stands, well, the Rooney ropes now have been taken over by Logic, as interestingly as it is, he actually manages to survive with still a decent enough HP pool to go into another gunfight. As it's been a bit of a flog from T7, not gonna lie. The user already downed as well amidst all of that gunfight and not yet finished off, as well the scare for that could be certainly still there, and well, revived by the finger boost would allow him to get back into the swing of things. Unfortunately for Odium though, no ways of re-healing themselves. No Doc, no Thunderbird, means that it's all a very permanent damage, and well, certainly they will be permanently removed as well by Worm and user as well.
That is unfortunate. Yeah, Whamai off the board early, but a run-out attempt there from Odium to try and confirm on a kill. But Phoenix looks the wrong way, and Twent will shut him down at the cost of no significant investment of health. He's full of health at the moment and can still look to get aggressive up into a number of these positions. But I mean, interestingly enough, they still are tentative in their approach. They don't want to commit to a hard push yet, Team 7, which is, I mean, almost counter to what we'd expect from their play style. But I mean, even in the face of being able to play that aggressive style of play, they're incredibly smart and calculated in their approach.
Yeah, quite keen to see what Odium will be able to do to kind of try to reset themselves. As it stands, a number of positions are still very heavily held, but the drone's already confirming so much information. The swing, Sealy could be doing and going in big right now, but his play will be rather grand here. Reswing, Twent wants to find a frag, does find indeed, decides to reswing. No, unfortunately, that one is far too open, no cover at all. It's all down to Sawyer to try to hold on to his position, try to find his own frag. Frag grenade flies past him, doesn't care at all, don't care, did not ask. Sawyer goes in for the swing. No, he will be swung instead. It's Campo to wrap it all up.
Yeah, unfortunately he's on the half wall and he's a bit taller than Sawyer in that situation. Team 7 find themselves on map point here, primed and ready to take down Odium before we see a chance to even contest. You can see smiles across the board. This ex-Bandits roster absolutely thriving under the banner of Team 7 right now. Yeah. 3 rounds needed for O-time.
Worm is so happy he actually took off his beanie as well. That's how the man is happy. But yeah, look, I gotta say, well done so far. T7 doing just a really clean, very consistent work that kind of has been the big talking point for a while for a number of even Tier 2 teams as well.
Defenders, protect your bombs from being defused by
yeah, I mean, Odium may not be too long for this world if we're being honest with ourselves. 6-3, they need 3. I mean, look, again, respect where respect is due. They still have the opportunity to equalise right now. If they push it, it's possible. But it's still 3 rounds they need to take without making a mistake. And they're going to lean back into the traps.
Absolutely. Oh. Traps indeed are going to be brought out, this time an even heavier lean with the introduction of the alibi for Sawyer to try to kind of steer the attention away from the said traps, and quite possibly could mean just a little bit more effectiveness, I suppose, from those traps to be able to allow a little bit more of that kind of swinging potential. But again, we'll have to wait and see if that is actually going to be read into. So far, not a whole lot of success from Capcan or Frost, and understandably so, that did cause the Frost to be kind of picked away. As T7 were able to just completely circumvent the positions and the setups.
Drone from Seal is going to reveal Twent's position, and they open up that garage wall downstairs as well. So his position could be forfeit in just a moment. He's going to get himself out of danger. Heading towards the main stairs. User TM on this Twitch is already clearing out so much utility in the site itself. It is also going to reveal that there is not a single body on that side either.
Absolutely. A simple jump into the site would be big, but already rotation starting to come around. Jiggle Speak. What?
Jiggle Speak?
Jiggle Speak. Jiggle Sweek. Swing is, well, rather the right word there for myself. And really, only thing that it revealed is just a shot at Twent. That did take some damage away, but interestingly enough, the footsteps didn't reveal that there is actually a presence in the library.
Yeah, having sat there for the majority of the round, they've dissipated for now. Phoenix wanting to get himself into Mudroom potentially. He's going to jump on the drones. Wants information. It is such a key part of this game, and if you're not playing for it, you're playing from the deficit. Minute 30 on the clock. I mean, Team 7 are primed. They're ready to close this map out.
Yeah, already, well, I say that. Soya does get the better of Campo, which does make things a little bit more difficult in regards to the heart-breaching potential, albeit now it's all going to be down to just the plain gunfight potential. As one will be trying to clear out the positions around the mezzanine, but that's a bit of a well done kind of grenade there. A swing in comes, and well, F2 is just a little bit better than the T5 SMG. Meanwhile, off screen, Edpan does get the better of Phoenix, so that's your big fragger out of the equation, albeit, yeah, look,
Soya.
There was a potential for the swing and Worminator to get the better of Soya, but Soya is just built differently. Instead, it's Sealy to perform the fragging and the removal of ODM's captain. As it stands 3v2, I mean, as long as Sealy is healthy and UZTM is able to frag out, at least get one more frag, I reckon there's still a possibility, and a good one to add that, for Team 7 to get the win.
Sealy can hit headshots galore, but he can't shoot a default camera. You love it. But right now, they've got the utility to make it happen. They've got Nade in the hands of Sealy. One, obviously, the frag grenade.
Yeah.
And two, smokes in the hands of UZTM, plus that final nano boost, which is now coming into play. Two members of the team health, they're going to cover the cross of the hallway and look to get themselves in through that gaming door. Nade primed and ready, throwing deep towards the bar. It's going to force the player out, but Sealy finally just flicks across. Will be shut down, and Odium will hold on in the 10th. They're bringing it back close.
Yeah, they absolutely making it as close as they can possibly make it, but it's still a very much of an uphill road. You need to certainly make sure that they are nailing their comms and nailing their shots, because, well, it's been a bit of a kind of a downward spiral, really, for them. I mean, you look at just Team 7, they have been, for the majority of it, whenever they were performing, it was them winning it out, but, well, not in the context of the last round, obviously. But look, Odium managed to hold on to the side, and I think it's kind of more so their acknowledgement that they can't really play the same way how Team 7 played on the defense, where they just kind of roam around the whole map and just gain frags. It's more so just for Odium, it's like almost like a... I hate to call it as a team of retirees, or rather, it's a more so kind of team, more so now based around, a strategical
it's a more
play.
elegant
More
style of play.
elegant style of play, yeah.
Is what a retired football player would say in that sort of discussion. But yeah, look, it's more refined, it's more structured, it's more what you'd expect at a high level of play. I mean, I don't think you'd see many teams finding the same success that Team 7 are at the same level that Odium are playing currently. But, I mean, they're finding success now, which is the important thing. They're doing some big damage. We head to Kitchen and Dining for the 11th round of play. I mean, Odium, they still need two. They can make it happen here.
Deploying welcome mat.
Yeah. Well, one more round we do get to see play out, and see how things will really work out later down the line. Pants once again in that same position on the library, where previously I believe it was Logic playing, but not anymore. Logic now has been delegated to a alibi play, which I reckon could actually fit him rather well. And once again, I'll lean into the Frost and the Capcan setup. The duo of the almost OG Orbs is definitely now going to be feeling possibly very workable, but Pants is about to be in for a very nasty surprise. No matter where he goes, there's a gun trained at his position, and well, UZTM is the one to claim his life. So, in that said, 4v5 with early frag onto Pants, that's your C4, that's your hold, basically around the game's bar and library as it is, completely now outed by T7.
Yeah, unfortunately, Pants not being able to hold in library, it's an unfortunate situation. He's going to have to go home and change after that rather unfortunate mess that was made. But right now, I mean, look, it's still anybody's guess how this round plays out. Yes, there is a player advantage for Team 7, but we know that Odium are some crack fraggers at the end of the day. So if they decide to pull up here in the 11th round, they could just take us to the final decider of regulation. This Twitch drone, though, from users doing big damage. You got to call it out. Come on, Eddie, you got to call him. Frost 95, it's not that hard, it's not exactly 95 anymore, but still Logic though, with a big kill will take out that Twitch. No more F2 to worry about.
Yeah, no more F2 is definitely going to be a great boon already, but with the breach starting to happen and it's on the side, that's an early attempt for contestants and a very confident ones whilst at it as well. Worminator gets the better of Twin, gets the better of Logic as well. Instead it's Sealy actually rather than Worminator, and the whole of Odium lineup is just starting to fall apart.
Oh dear, 2 versus 4. They're going to have to hold fast if they want to keep this in their own favour, but no, Worm shuts down Sawyer. It's all on Edpan. He's good for 1. What more can he find? Player coming in down for trophy. He's going to get the kill to Phoenix. Make to that a 1 versus 2. Campo's on the plant. And it will be in the post now that we see Team 7 have the advantage. Edpan, he's got to find 2 if he spots the header 1. Make it a 1v1. This is entirely doable. He's going to run forward deep into dining. Spot the player. No, he doesn't. Just tucked in behind the couch. This is going to be a tenuous one. He's going to unfortunately fall to Sealy, and Team 7 will claim themselves another victory here in LPL Pro.
Nicely done, yeah. Team 7 just doing a great job whilst at it and, yeah, completely shutting things down. Certainly making things work really, really well. And, yeah, look, this has been a really clean deal.
I mean, it's impressive stuff from Team 7. I mean, we saw the signs at the beginning of the stage. They've slowly ramped up. And they've taken down Odium now, which is a pretty big investment from them. They're gearing themselves to be one of the menaces of this competition. I say menaces. They're playing phenomenally. It's not like they're, you know, ratting in corners or anything. They're playing their game. They're playing it well, and they've taken down some big teams already.
Absolutely. Yeah, look, it's a great showcase from them, and definitely a really good way of playing. The way how they did it still shows that they have that coordination, that they have that aggression plus the mechanical skill to back it all up. So their playstyle was generally feels like relatively kind of standardized, but they have that very big of a unique point where they able to still keep on stringing that aggression really, really well.
Yeah, I mean, their aggression is where they thrived. I mean, you look at the defense, taking a 4-2 defensive half on Chalet. I mean, you look at Phoenix just jumping out of windows, running out. I mean, every single time he went for the attempt, bar 1, I think, he found success.
Yeah. And it's kind of those kind of plays that, whilst they completely acknowledge that, well, they haven't really been droned out at their closest position, they were gained a huge window of opportunity to go in for those swings. I mean, yeah, like you highlighted, the runouts from Phoenix. Phoenix in general, on the defensive half, he has been an absolute menace to deal with, and borderline impossible as well in the state that Odium was, really. They tried to play the game of how, well, Tier 1 teams play. Unfortunately, they're playing against a team that hasn't gotten yet to play the challenger level, the national level, and so they are just there to just embrace their own kind of play style.
Yeah, now we've just been heard from production. There will be no interview, unfortunately. We're going to throw it to a break. When we come back, we look to jump into our second match, and already things are looking spicy. We'll see you back very, very soon.
ぜいつもここに来るんですか？フルーツならデリバリーもできます。お金もあるんですし。
金持ちはただ待っていろと？私をそんな風に見ていたのか。
いえ、でもここは人が多すぎます。
お前は信頼できる子だが、少し肩の力を抜いたらどうだ。でないと大切なものを見落としてしまうぞ。この果物とかね。これを一つ。ヒロ、どうした？震えているぞ。
セテ！
お！
ここに。
私の家に忍び込むなんて自殺願望でもあるの？
久しぶり、由美子。八幡さんが。
ええ。話は聞いたわ。
見覚えは？手伝ってもらう。仇は必ず撃つ。
Kia ora whanau, that guy Zeno J here, and I'm back with Let's Play Live as our friends at Bandai Namco contacted us and said, hey, Zeno, do you want to review our latest game, Elden Ring, and see how you go? And, well, let's see how I go. What is Elden Ring? Well, Elden Ring is the latest title from Software in collaboration with George R.R. Martin to create a new open-world epic story of a character who is tarnished and beyond the veil. In that world, they're going to have to fight for their life to try to beat the holders of the Elden Ring, where you will die a lot of times. You have to build up and level up your character. Like I said, it's open world, which means it's very, very epic, and there's so much to explore. And once you have your trusty steed, Torrent, you're going to enjoy so much more of the world that is out there waiting for you in Elden Ring.
Hello and welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Coming back from the break, of course, we just saw Team 7 take down Odium and dismantle them a bit on Chalet. And I mean, it was great to see them embracing their style of play.
Absolutely, yeah. It's been a great turnout, really, there for Team 7. And unfortunately, yeah, for Odium, look, there has been a bit of a meme going previously, Odium on Copium. Whilst I don't think this is kind of the biggest kind of loss that they could have taken, it's still a loss nonetheless there for them.
Yeah, and remember, we've got this Twitter giveaway going on, so make sure you tag us, make sure you use the hashtag at LPLR6S. Tell us which you think is the best map in the current competitive pool. Hell, just in the best map in Siege at the moment. Tell us why you think that is the case. Make it funny, make it genuine. Honestly, if you want to write a thesis, put it all together, let us know what is going on, and we'll rate your picks, and we'll give away some R6 credits, 2,400 of them in total. And with the new skins out at the moment, you definitely want them.
And do make sure to tag both the LPLR6S Twitter as well as the hashtag as well for us to see it and be able to even put it up on the broadcast. But yeah, look, honestly, with that kind of matchup all done and dusted, we still have a plethora of others that could be actually quite funny to watch.
Well, our next one could be one of those ones. Of course, we've already seen one of these two teams have a bit of fun last week. It is, of course, Altered Zelios taking on the 1620 Kings. This matchup promises to be a very interesting one. AZ up first, of course, Banana, Trippin, Crips T making a return back to the LPL Pro with the roster, Fakers, and Greg, whose name is actually Chris.
Yeah, I was just about to make a joke about that. Greg, who's actually Chris, will be stepping in. I believe, actually, he was part of the original announcement of Altered Zelios for this year, but I don't think he got to see a whole lot of play himself. Albeit it's good to see that, Banana, Trippin, and Fakers do get to stick around, and KT kind of coming back into the swing of things. She was actually one of the big performers back, I believe, 2 weeks ago for Altered Zelios, and was able able to actually keep up with the rest of the team quite well.
And look, there is some good news. There was potential that we weren't going to allow Banana to play earlier today. We were told that he was going to cook a steak to well done.
And then boil it.
And boil it for his dinner. But obviously, you know, that's not happened. He decided he wanted tacos instead. Unfortunately, he's not using fresh avocado, but we can excuse that. Tacos, they're pretty great at the end of the day. So he's allowed to play today. No sanctions. But their opponents, 1620 Kings, coming into tonight. And, well, Cthulhu, it's the full 5-man core.
Oh man, I'm so excited for this one. Look, 1620 Kings at their full core roster were actually showing some phenomenal signs of life. And I mean, the big two highlights, Testa and Chef Jeff, the two players that has been consistently outputting the double-digit numbers, have been showing a great amount of performance. And I mean, KJ, Lonely, Machine, that trio also slid into the roster extremely well. I mean, even Chef Jeff on a number of interviews been highlighting how much Machine himself improved and how much dedication he's shown to the team and to the game as well. So it's great to see that, you know, for 1620 Kings, it has been a very much kind of a rise from literally basically a whole new team, from basically the ashes of all the previous glory, and now kind of forming their own whole storyline.
And taking top 3 in CL this stage as
Absolutely.
well. They've done some big stuff. Let's have a look at our head-to-head. The two players you want to keep an eye on most. Understandably, it is Banana from Alta Zelios. He's been a big player in this competition for this team as well. But his opponent, it's a bit of a lopsided affair. Testa, the current kill record holder in CL at the moment, 20 kills in a single match.
Here's a question for you: who will win, a record holder, a kill record holder, versus a French shotgun enjoyer?
Oh, that's a tough one. That's a tough one. I mean, yeah, we saw Banana on the Rook going absolutely big with the CQB shotty. I honestly couldn't call it. That's a tough one. That really is. We're going to have to see it played out. I think, unfortunately, I get the feeling we're probably not going to Villa. I think if 1620 Kings have done their homework, they don't want to go to Villa. Let's break it down. Let's get into where we're going to be heading, of course. Villa, it made it quite far through. It's going to be Cafe Dostoevsky, which is a map that 1620 Kings has a long history on and a long history of success.
Yeah, look, it feels maybe a little bit of a misplay here by AZ. I mean, we've talked about that a whole lot. AZ just, as a team, they here to just enjoy themselves, enjoy their stay, whilst also, you know, here to cause a couple of upsets. Now, against K16, they already played before in a number of other leagues, and certainly could pose quite a bit of a threat. But again, this will need to be prefaced by the fact that two things need to happen for K16 to fall completely here. One, their mental is completely choked after a number of probably failed cash games trying to grind the Battle Pass points or even ranked ELO. And two, for AZ to just nail a lot of their numbers, and for players like Trippin, players like Fakers, players like even Banana to perform on top of their game.
There's one more factor that we need to discuss for Old
Good dinner as well for Banana.
No. Yeah, look, dinner aside, there's one more factor. It's AZ mum, KT mum coming in to play. Obviously, if she keeps the team level-headed, they are going to be a force to be reckoned with. She doesn't let the team get away with themselves.
True, but the one rule though, don't give KT the Wumai with the impact grenades. Matter of fact, just don't give her impact grenades just at all. It is for the greater good of the team though. Let's just call it that.
Oh, I don't think the team are in danger. We know that much for sure. It's just her. She's the only risk to herself.
Oh no, I'm more so meaning risking, you know, decreasing the number of the players on the board, whether it's herself being, you know, promoted to the spectator screen or, well, herself. That's about it, really.
But I mean, 1620 Kings, they're coming in. I mean, the strongest they've looked in a while tonight. Testa in the roster for LPL Pro. The first time we get to see him take to the field here. And like I said, kill record holder for Challenge League at the moment. Surpassed Pants from our former game as well, who is currently holding it, I believe, at 19 for himself. And that was a pretty spectacular Villa match. Going into Cafe, though, look, I'm excited. I'm keen to see what Chef Jeff is bringing to the table. I'm keen to see what Bananas bring to the table, especially with those shotguns in play.
Yeah. We haven't, you know, really highlighted a whole lot how much it's been such a weird evolution for Banana to, you know, start bringing out those shotguns rather consistently. I mean, we've talked about the whole rivalry between Owen and Chef Jeff, there's a whole new challenger out there on the field with a whole new, shotgun religion going around. Banana, a man is an absolute menace, whether it's on the shotgun, whether it's on any kind of gun, as long as he's being allowed to literally right around the corner and be able to sneak away with literally the most dumbest positions possible. That's where the man exceeds his play.
But you've also got to remember his introduction to Challenge League last year with Altered Zelios. He made a name for himself playing the Supernova Hibana, the M590 Sledge. The man was a shotgun connoisseur from way back in the day. He's gone unnoticed because it's the attacker side of the shotgun play. Yes, Jeff has played a bit of M590 Sledge, but I mean, look, he's no purist like old Banana.
Yeah, Banana is the old believer, and certainly, I mean, he managed to actually make it work on a number of occasions. It's just not as frequent of a success, but his dedication to the cause has definitely, if not most definitely, surpassed already Chef Jeff's dedication to the shotgun cause.
Yeah, look, it's going to be an interesting matchup, I think. We have some minor tech issues, though. We'll be throwing a quick break. When we come back, we'll jump on into the match and get Cafe Dostoevsky underway. We'll see you back very, very soon. Welcome back. We are just waiting on the last couple of players. They're a bit delinquent. I think Ben's still making his dinner, if I'm being perfectly honest. He's got to plate it up. He's got the cilantro, everything to go. He's just not in the server yet. So it wasn't a tech issue. It was the players. We need to know who to blame, and it's the players. It's always the players. Let's be perfectly honest. It's Rainbow Six Siege. It's always the players.
It's always the players. Yeah. Look, but it does give us a little bit more time to talk about all the possibilities, all the meme potential, all the meme material. And I mean, Cafe, look, we didn't really get to touch up a whole lot about it, apart from the fact that it was kind of one of the dominant maps for 1620 Kings, as it could be that big coordinated kind of effort from them, whereas AZ will be forced to kind of run around almost like headless chickens unless they have a good idea about what to do.
Well, we know what to do. We're going to Cafe. Let's get on into it. Let's jump on over. Get your bonbons, get your coffee, get your pastries. It's time to rock and shock here on Cafe Dostoevsky. 1620 Kings taken on AZ. Now, I mean, 1620 Kings last week was a bit of fun on theme park. You know, a bit of vacation. And you would know this, you know, Cthulhu. This is your homeland. There is no fun here. It's Cafe Dostoevsky. It's dead serious.
Yeah, it's dead serious. Pain all around.
No pain.
Too much snow as well.
Yeah, too much snow.
Probably cold as heck as well.
Everyone sounds angry.
Everyone just sounds angry, yeah. Albeit there's a weird sort of ice cream truck behind that cafe, so a little bit sussy.
About 3 minutes ago, Lonely asked, what map are we playing? I cooked everything for the spread. I was told tacos. So not only has Banana lied to us,
he didn't bring a fresh avocado.
He also didn't make rice for his burrito.
And he didn't.
I think Fuse fan, though.
Man, like, can't have anything in cafe. Like,
I think that for
why?
the first time that we've seen both of those LFGs banned out.
This is just pain.
You can't ban out Fuse on his home map.
You can't. Man.
And Echo.
Okay.
Ben's being targeted.
Ben's being targeted. Tester being targeted. Yeah, I'm leaving. GG. Yeah, thanks. Yeah. Tripping in the chat.
The lobby. It's time to get the TDM going.
Yeah. FF coming up. Yeah, all right.
He played Fuse because he wanted to. That's I mean, I don't think it's going to be the full meme send that we got out of last week, but I still think this one's probably going to be a bit of fun.
Oh yeah, it's still going to be memes, despite us saying that Cafe is all about being serious. In all regards, though, I am actually kind of rating this roster of Altadeli's attack. A very chaotic one whilst at it. Funnily enough, Logic did tweet previously, attempt to tweet before, but I believe he failed to tag us on the LPL_R6S Twitter. But he actually mentioned about, you know, Amaru swings, but on a different map, that is the coastline. On Cafe, actually, Amaru could be quite big as well.
Yeah, but it's Banana, so it's going to be most likely the Supernova armor, which I rate. I still rate that. I'm keen for it. I'm excited. I want to see it played. We have a couple of potential shotgun options across the board. Old KT picking up the Lion. I mean, this lineup that we are seeing at Altered Zelios in their first attack is kind of potent, if we're being honest with ourselves.
Potent indeed. Oh man, Chef Jeff wants to get saucy straight from the get-go. This time actually rocking a...
There's two of them. There's two of them.
Oh,
come on, Jeff.
Surely.
Come on, Jeff. Come on. Oh, tripping kneecap.
But the Machine is the one to finish him off. Yeah, all right, GM. Bye.
It was a bait and switch.
Bait and switch. Love to see that. And the Ying as well on top of it all. That's just, well, pain for tripping as well. Suppose that's the punishment that you receive for banning out the Fuse and the Finker.
Well, I mean, Banana also not playing the Supernova, so I'm a little concerned. Gur Egg being the Jackal right now, looking to push his way up White Stairs. Shotgun in play from the freezer. Somehow Jeff dies? How does KT win that?
It's just KT things. Yeah, look at this point.
Get Jeff out of here.
Yeah, get this man out. A swing comes around. Hello, Lonely says hi. Lonely says double. It's a 1v4 all of a sudden, and all it's down to just Sreka F trying to find his own frag, but none actually found. And well, the question is being asked, what are you doing in Ice Swamp? And then, well, the answer is getting frags for it.
25 frames per second.
Yeah,
it is a lifestyle choice. Yeah, look. Tester's just like, what the heck just happened? I don't know what's going on, guys. This is a bit odd. Somehow Machine looks scarier in his picture than he does on camera.
Oh, man. Chef Jeff knows that Machine is about, after this match, Machine will roll him like a burrito as well.
100%. Like,
for this kind of failure, that is, yeah, you being punished.
Machine's that one guy in the group that, like, he's a nice bloke, he's the loveliest fella you're ever going to meet, but if you stand on his shoes, someone's getting thrown in the bin.
Head first as well.
Oh, I don't think head first. You're going to tumble at least 2 or 3 times.
Oh, yeah, like a bowling ball kind of thing. Oh, man. Look, at least I want to say valiant effort from Altadeli's, but apart from the result onto Chef Jeff,
honestly,
I don't think anything
Jeff
else
deserves to be excommunicated after that. He had the absolute drop on KT. and couldn't get the kill.
Ay. Suppose if 1620 Kings will win this, we could ask him as to what happened, what kind of reprimands will be happening onto him, and later down the line what could happen as well.
He's going to be demoted to a lowly archdeacon. Lonely now decides he wants to get in on the action. We've seen Machine and Jeff get involved in the spawn peak. Lonely decides to pull off for the moment instead. Interesting though, we see the Thunderbird and Valkyrie in play, so there are some very interesting operators in this lineup. Jeff, he's wanting to redeem himself in towards prep, but that doesn't seem to be the angle of aggression from Alta Zelios as they are coming in from this northern side of the building. I also noticed that there happens to be 4 nitro cells in play. And KJ, what is that?
I mean, that's a valiant attempt at doing so. Unfortunately, just it doesn't land. I do like, though, the idea that they are bringing in the Capcan and the Thunderbird and the Valkyrie as well. So they're kind of leaning into a little bit of everything, plus just the failure that is Chef Jeff with his shotgun nowadays.
How does a man get 2 assists in the round but not a kill? Oh dear. Look, it is what it is. He's trying his absolute darndest, but right now Alta Zelios are going to be able to get into the building rather freely. Fakers wanting to push on towards 90. Machine drops down the hatch into the freezer as well, being very, very heavily threatened. Alta Zelios, though, they're recuperating quite well in this round and making some aggressive timings.
Machine might actually be able to find a really nice frag as well.
That's 3 nitro cells committed for not a single collect.
Yeah, that's not particularly the kind of thing that will be quite safe for Machine to play around, but he still, regardless, wants to keep on contesting. Certainly will try to do that, but Chef Jeff instead gets just bullied out of the equation by tripping, and Machine tries to get into another gunfight, actually lands a nice headshot, but already gets fragged out from a completely different position by Banana. All of a sudden, well, Testa actually has a drop, possibly a drop here onto the nuke of Fakers. Does he know, though? Does he have the inkling about it? This is a completely different thing, and, well, maybe later down the line he does get 1. Can he find 2? No, unfortunately, shut down at all. Cripsty does find her 1. Banana finds onto Lonely, and it's all down to KJ. Does actually get a frag down, but the last 2 remaining players are currently on site.
No nitro cell because they'd used them all, unfortunately, so they are going to have to find some opportunity to get in. And oh no, Greg there just watching the angle. AZ will answer back with a very big round.
Well, AZ, good response overall. That's a good job so far. Banana's munching what I'm assuming is the remains of the burrito. Oh, well, sorry, no. Not the burrito. What was he making?
He was going to make tacos. He made burritos instead.
Right, true.
He was going to make steak, and then he was going to make tacos, and then he made burritos instead.
I'm actually now kind of feeling some chimichangas.
Could be the plate.
Either way, apart from the misconception and the lies that Banana did on what he is intending to cook, Alta Zelios are looking to, well, basically bring out the same lineup for themselves. I mean, it worked out pretty well overall, including, well, almost including Faker's play, but it just did enough damage so that Cripsty will be able to find a finisher as well onto the Valkyrie of Testa, so understandably so. It actually all worked out pretty well. Now, an adjustment, though, coming out, introducing the Goyo into the play on the same side will allow essentially to deny and slow down the push just a teeny tiny bit longer, which should generate just about enough buffer for rotation for any of the players that are playing offside, or better yet, just hold off for a few more moments for the anchors on site.
Oh boy, Cafe already gearing up to be a pretty fun one. Remember, if you want to win some credits, make sure you tag us in a tweet at LPL_R6S. Tell us what your favorite map in the pool is and why. Make sure you use the hashtag just hashtag LPLR6S as well. And we could give you some Rainbow Six credits to go along with it. We already see why Cafe is a favorite map of 1620 Kings. The ability to go for the spawn peaks, the aggression. They love it.
Yeah, absolutely. It's been so far a grand time. With Chef Jeff, though, he gets into a bit of a tussle between himself and Banana, but does come out the victor out of that one. No Thunderbird, though, unfortunately, so meaning that Chef Jeff in his next gunfight could potentially go down rather quickly and rather heavily. Do we expect, though, the rest of the team back him up, though? Now, that is a completely different question. And it seems so far, look, it's just more so kind of a run around trying to find out where the next point of contention is going to be.
Already, though, they are going to sneak Trippin into train so he can get on the skeleton key and start opening up some of these floors. Lonely with a nitro, so does Jeff and Testa. If they can find the information, maybe land nitro. Or Lonely, almost dead, throws out the nitro in a bit of panic. Oh. And, buddy, that's not at all near where you were getting shot from.
Ay. Well, at the moment, we are looking to see some possibly more damage to be dished out onto the K16 roster, given that Lonely already tanked quite a fair bit. Testa is once again, this time playing a slightly different position, but still has the ability to make those rotations back onto site. And once again, that vertical gameplay from Oceania could be basically the linchpin for them to use against 1620 Kings, but as it stands, the Goyo pick, I'm not too sure if it was an intentional detonation, but regardless, well, the flames are there.
Machine will take down KT, so no more Thatcher here for the attack, but luckily Tripper will finally confirm that kill onto Lonely. He did the chip damage, start things off. The swing from Greg is good though, and they will equalise in just a moment after finding themselves at the deficit. Tester in the site, Fakers with the kill onto KJ, and things are quickly being dismantled here by the altered Zalios roster. Greg, he's good for more despite the 25 frames per second coming into play. Chef Jeff with a headshot on the trip. It pushes it down to 2 versus 1. Has the Vulcan shield, has a Nitro Cell 2. He's going to pop both packs that are sitting in by the B bomb site. Does he have the head angles for the Nitro Cell play? Not at the moment. Shoulder, big damage onto Greg. If he can land the Nitro Cell here, it would be huge. Swinging out from behind the chassis. He's just crouching his way up. It's going to be a bit of a ring around the rosy. Can't quite find the angle onto Fakers, but he should find Greg, and that's the shutdown there. Where is Fakers? Is he going to be able to deny? Jeff might just be able to pull this one out of the bag. He's going to bait the defuse. Will he go for the Nitro Ripper? Yes, he does. He tosses it over to Whiskey, but no! Oh. Fakers just arcs up, swings in, and finds the kill.
Nicely done by Fakers as well. And yeah, look, that worked out so well. Just the perfect timing. And yeah, the man possibly had a bit of a heart attack there, not going to lie, with the sheer amount of action that was coming his way. But look, he managed to hold himself pretty well overall. And well, that does score the second point for Altered Zelius. Now, 1620 Kings. Their next step here, well, is going to be to try to keep on nailing the rounds to at least push it to a 3-3 scoreline. And after that, well, the attack is going to be the next pick. But we're looking at the lineup. Kali is being here brought out by Greg.
Technically, they could still get the 4-2. Like, it's not impossible. It'd be hard, I reckon. But 1620 Kings could be the ones to do it here. We head it to the third floor again. I mean, so far, Kitchen has been a wash. Third floor, the only successful site so far. I think it's going to be telling if we head to the second floor as to how this map could play out.
Look, I think
I'm waiting on a better sleep.
Yeah, because before you just missed Banana.
Should have cooked it earlier, bozo.
Look, I mean, Banana. Yeah, look, he has had a bit of a slower start, and I think once we do get to finally see the cooked rice, we certainly going to see Banana completely.
We're not going to see any cooked rice. He's not playing for that.
Look, maybe that's the reason why Rice today is not here. Maybe it's just he's overcooked.
Probably. I wouldn't be surprised. The man's a busy bloke. He's got a lot on. Right now, 1620 Kings have a lot on. They need to find 1 round to equalise, and they want to get at least 2 if they want to have a sound half to work from. Jeff on the Valkyrie is going to spot the player red. Unfortunately, it's Trippin, and Jeff will die again, having not played a shotgun. But it's KT on the Blackbeard that is going to be fun.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen quite a few rosters be able to utilize that. Namely, what was it, the Antic roster playing against Dynasty previously. They were able to utilize Blackbeard on Skyscraper rather thoroughly. And the Scar.
The drop shot Blackbeard play from Coach Pronewin.
I mean, I'm not surprised. I'm not going to be surprised if Crips T decides to pull it out as well. I mean, it's still a potent gun with a hip fire. Oh, lordy, Banana. I think the rice is cooked now.
Yeah, it is just a wee bit. not even comprehending what was being seen. Machine as well being punished. They're going to clear out Pixel. Trippin there with the help of Fakers looking to clear out this utility. But Machine, he's never one to shy away from a kill, and he's always good for one at the minimum. That is going to prove a little bit harder now to clear out Fakers, though. Just a little bit too quick on the trigger for him. The stun flash pop over towards the top of White. It's going to be a full charge on towards construction. Three of them.
Wait, he jumped down.
No, he didn't. Did he? No, he did. He's coming from behind. KT's in a bit of trouble. Lonely's blade ring around the Rosie, and he's going to get himself out of a bit of danger. But the hunt is on. Banana. He's ripping heads off and taking names. It's all on to Tester, the current kill record holder in the Challenger League. He might just be able to clutch up. We've seen it before. There's a player in the room with you, buddy. And unfortunately, Altered Zelios will take that round 2.
My one question is, how does Banana forget to cook a rice whilst making a burrito? Because I mean, if that's how he looks on top of that, like, that's a good sign. You know, a hearty meal gives you a pretty good, you know, ability to perform. And I mean, we look at 1620 Kings, and round 1, yeah, funny haha rounds, funny haha moments. Not anymore of that. Chef Jeff looks completely and utterly shattered. Meaning
he does look like he could use some sleep.
Yeah, he needs probably a day, if not 2 worth of sleep, probably. But look, I mean, who needs sleep at this point? It's always gamer hours.
Yeah, look, as much as I love gaming, I also love my sleep. That is what I plan to do for the next 2 days after I do get home tonight.
Quite possibly.
Oh no, most definitely. Like, there is no possibility. I'm just going to bed. I'm going to hibernate until Saturday. That's the game plan right now.
Trippins. He's a positive 150 fingers that Apex South.
man, it's an overwhelming sense of awareness.
It's not Apex South. It's the just APAC League playoffs in general. Shout out to Damn1 as well.
VPNs, anyone?
Shout out to Damn1 Kia, honestly, and shout out to Korea in general.
They do what they can. Unfortunately, it wasn't enough. Right now, though, we're in the 5th. The Nitro Cell ripped there. It looks like KJ's looking to get cheeky with it. Wants to make a play off of the explosive utility. But it's going to be a rush. They are all in. They are already in reading. They are looking to go for the plant. Banana has the site. There is no one on the site. There is no footholds. They have just completely taken it, and Trippin's on the plant. Player White, player Nitro Cell. He's not even going to be close. Trippin has taken some big damage. The plant will go down on the reattempt. The swing from KJ, he's dead. Banana is just eating up right now, much like he was eating up that burrito, even if it was made wrong. Greg as well, playing the Glaz with to no effect. It doesn't even matter. The swing, it's going to be 2 kills back for K16. KT relocating, might have to pick up the angle himself. Catches Lonely on the reload. Down to the 3 versus 3 once again. One player coming from each direction. Of course, Machine's good for 1. He's going to drop KT. The swing on from the main door from Christmas tree right now. Machine good for a second. Fakers. He's going to have to clutch up too. What a slam! Tester falls, and it's on the captain, Chef Jeff, to clutch up. He's going to catch the back end. He's going to get it. He needs time.
Oh, he doesn't see it.
He's going to miss it by milliseconds. He's whipped it. He can't get the defuse.
Oh no! Oh no, Chef Jeff! El Jefe! What happened there? Completely flogged it. Couldn't find it. And Banana, yeah, he's back to cooking. He's just taking this break. It's just, you know, gotta get the rice out.
Okay, so
it seems nice and steamy as well.
Yeah, I think he has taken the time rather than committing to the burrito in its entirety. But he did say everything was going to get cold while he's making the rice. So
understandable.
You win some, you lose some.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, a cold burrito is a loss across the board.
Just a game for Altazillies if the burrito actually gone cold, just forfeit the game at this point. What's the point? But I mean, 4-1 scoreline, Panda. A sensational kind of performance so far from Altazillies, and I mean, at its core, it's been kind of Fakers just continuously just pushing that envelope further and further into AZ's favor.
Yeah, look, it also doesn't hurt that Jeff missed out by milliseconds because he turned the wrong way. You hate to see it, you really do.
Yeah.
But
I mean, with minimal,
you've also got to respect the rush play from AZ. That was huge.
Yeah, it was huge. And I mean, in defense of Chef Jeff as well, it's been kind of, I don't think there was a whole lot of information utility either on the site, so it was down to just his hunch and, well, yeah, look.
KJ's on the stroll. I might get that's motion sickness inducing.
Motion sickness inducing would be if he just decided randomly spinning just on one place. Now,
Smack is not playing today, unfortunately, so we're not going to get to see any of the full spin right now. But
unfortunately,
Reading Room Fireplace re-attempt here, and already
lordy.
Banana's there with KT. Okay, so it's not going to be another rush. They are going to play it a little bit more, linear, play it a little bit smarter, but the option was there for them.
Option indeed there. There's certainly still a possibility of that very thing. Idea now being that, well, Banana and Co will be able to just a bit more methodically approach this play, albeit kind of AZ and methodical are almost kind of completely polar opposite things here, really, but they can really show a good coordination when they want to, and a very big emphasis is when they want to, and that's a rarity nowadays, especially.
Well, Testa kicks things off with a kill onto Banana, playing the vert angle, shuts it down. He does take a decent chunk of damage, though, and finding that kill. Nades galore, going to be coming. Why does Testa have a pocket bandage shield? I can understand a pocket shield, I can understand a pocket black eye camera, I can even understand pocket barbed wire, but a pocket bandage shield seems a bit questionable.
It's just a buffed up pocket barbed wire. What do you mean?
It takes a bit longer to put down. And at this point in the round, you're not putting it down.
I mean, I would.
All right, if you want to die midway through a round putting down a banshee, you'd have to explain that to your team at a comp center. You go for it, Chief. That's all you.
Yeah, all right.
Got it. Okay, you will explain that one to the captain later on, but Loney's going to find Trippett. So the round so far is going well for the 1620 Kings. They've taken some big players off the board. Trippett and Banana now out.
Yeah, with Banana and Trippin, things will get a little bit more dicey, albeit still. I mean, you look at the loadout for the remainder of the attackers, it's still good and all clean, but Cripsty in a whole world of trouble. Chef Jeff re-swings basically a free kill there onto her. And as it stands, kind of both of the players are, yes, they are close by together, but the moment one of them does go down, I don't think there's going to be a whole lot of potential for a re-swing. I say that, though, Chef Jeff finds one and kind of just decides, yeah, you know what, I don't want to be playing any sort of part in all of that.
Yeah, it's the big no thank you right now. They're trying to figure out how they make the push onto the site with 29 seconds remaining, and the push in from behind. Machine for one. Oh, is he going to be good for another? The shield, just Greg trying desperately to hold on, but no. 1620 Kings will close out the half with a flawless.
Oh. That's one way to really do it, and yeah, look, AZ looking to make this a nice and snappy kind of performance here from them. After what feels like a bit of a kind of a misplay there from 1620 Kings. Altazilius, though, they keeping it nice and chill, nice and cool overall. So kitchen service and kitchen cooking is going to be the next side. This time it is going to be on Altazilius to wrap it up. Or, well, wrap it up as in with all the defensive utilities. And yeah, we'll see how things will really go on from there.
AZ onto the defense. Unfortunately, we are seeing a significant absence of Banana on the shotgun play so far in this matchup. I don't know how to feel about that one, but it is what it is. Right now, Jeff picking up the IQ, Testa playing his quintessential hard breach. I mean, the Testa is the definition of a fragmite.
Yeah, Testa has managed to show us that he's able to, well, if not fragmite, just basically on any operator. You give him a gun, he's able to frag out. He's just one of those basically multi-tools of fragging.
Okay, I think Banana actually does have a shotgun if he's spawn peeking with the D50. Surely he has the spares 12.
You don't need a reason to spawn peek with a golden dig.
No, you don't. But given his propensity for shotguns, I could imagine that maybe he does. No, he doesn't. He just didn't want to spawn peek with the MPX.
See, I told you. You don't need a reason to spawn peek with a golden deagle. It's just it's a piece of just a cultural legacy.
It's you saying it's an American thing.
I'm not pointing into any of the nation's directions, but
he said it was a cultural thing.
Take it as how you want it.
Yeah, look, we'll carry on before we enter some dangerous territory with the North American boys. We know a few of those casters and they might get it. The North American casters.
North American. Didn't ask them.
Yeah. The heated discussions will ensue surely on the timeline. But right now, we're a minute in and already we can see Altazelios pulling back from a number of these high positions up on that third floor. I say that, no, not necessarily, just some minor relocations. Banana is dead because despite thinking he was invisible, he was not, in fact, invisible.
Attackers have located a bomb.
So it's one thing thinking and the other thing is actually doing things, and well, Banana certainly is more so just a thinker rather than a doer. On the other hand, though, well, Testa and co. have certainly been able to become the doers and the makers of their own destiny. And as it stands, Machine and Co. just continuing to keep on pushing. That IQ pick actually kind of has been rather huge here for both of the lineups, given just a really ample amount of information about all of those electronic utilities. And Machine gets concussed from all of the sheer amounts of explosions all around him and close by. I mean, look at this, the sheer amount of C4s dumped around the whole room.
Unfortunately, not going to connect any significant damage onto the members of K16, and they will start to get that freezer hatch open. A minute left in play, and 1620 Kings primed and ready to make their entrance onto the site right now. I mean, it's surprising that KJ is only just getting in above the site to make some openings and find angles and make the plays, but Greg, this flank here can be huge. He's got support behind him, but the air jab's going to pump him straight through the wall. He gaps it. Out of danger, into KJ's awaiting arms, trip and falls as well, and things are quickly accelerating out of control for the Altered Zelios crew. KT tries her hand, it's her chance. Does she know that there is one close left right now, just inside Dark on the drones? KJ should be a free kill, but it's actually Jeff to go down, peeking his head through in a dangerous game of cat and mouse. Fake is in the freezer with the shotgun in hand. Machine looks like he was ready to go and drop down. SMG-11 out, shotgun out. It's a bit of a rotation. Will be shut down. The ARX duo making a big play there for the 1620 Kings.
Well, they managed to bring the scoreline to an even closer position. Still very much of an uphill battle for them if they want to if they want to really even equalize the scoreline, because 4-3 is still going in favor of Altazelios after that. Quite a banger of a first half. So with 1620 Kings starting things off on the attack the way how they did, they actually might be looking at a possibility of a very clean reverse sweep.
Clean deal, clean trade.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, look. Oh, look, he's got it. It's been out of time. CQB shotgun in hand on the dock. So we are going to see the reattempt of Kitchen. They're going to double down, make it happen once again. But if Ben plays it the same way he played that last round, we've proved that he is not in fact a Vigil. Neither is he a Nook or a Kavira. And just because you hide behind an end table does not mean you are an end table.
Well, that's basically true.
Basically true.
Basically.
So you're saying that at some level it's not true, that if you sit behind a coffee table, you become a coffee table.
Yeah, I reckon you could become one.
The philosophical discussions that we didn't think we were going to be happening here on round 8 of Cafe Dostoevsky.
Actually, I reckon out of all of the players in LPL Pro, the one person who could become a coffee table for a certain person could be user TM.
Possibly, yeah. Look, I think there is a very real possibility that could happen in some reality at some point in time. But right now, that is not the some point in time. This is not the multiverse where is his responsibility. His responsibility was to win that match. They've done that. They've moved on. We are now in a different match.
Of course, yes, understandably so.
And I think we just abandoned that line of questioning and thinking.
I think we just in general abandoned a whole lot of lines. Just throw out the majority of this matchup already as it is. Banana, meanwhile, does have a really good position to just absolutely dumpster the whole 1620 Kings lineup, but the drone, I believe, might have just spotted the dock player. So there is a very strong possibility of just a Granata Pashla, and he did, but instead it's a live Chef Jeff that just drops in.
Man still isn't using shotguns, but he's going to be traded back, and, you know, it's slugs for the slug throne, unfortunately. And, well, they are going to push themselves back downstairs. Greg wants to play on the side. Unfortunately, yeah, we're not going to see much out of Banana this round.
Unfortunate. Rather unfortunate. Still, though, There's plenty more rounds to be played. And look, for Ultradilius, at least they have that one more round technically before they have to, quote-unquote, start sweating. But I mean, with Ultradilius, when do they sweat really? Because I don't think we've ever seen them absolutely, you know, angy kind of deal where they, oh no, we have to clutch it up, we have to make it work. No, it's just always been just, how can we meme this to an even bigger level?
We've seen KT angry, but that's for different reasons. Right now, though, yeah, they might find themselves, you know, loosening the grip on this matchup at the moment. Ultradilius, despite a phenomenal start on the attack, 16-20 Kings are bringing a heater of an attack on their own, and you can already see going to the final minute. This vert angle, unfortunately, going to be denied. The Nitro Alpha fake is very good, very clean, and unfortunately, KJ dead. Yeah,
with KJ out of the equation, that's a really big amount of that vertical gameplay that could have been absolutely crucial there for K16. I say that though, there's at least still a possibility of being able to find those frags. I mean, getting rid of Greg, getting rid of Banana does sound for a really decent amount of play. That C4 pre-placed one as well would have done a whole lot of work. Unfortunately, just not there completely, but it does take up Testa just about enough to make it a little bit more workable towards some of the more longer range gunfights.
KT's responsibility is holding this freezer door for now. Trippin playing the red hallway, and Faker's just tucked it in by that kitchen service double, and the swing out. It's going to be good for two with the help of Fakers dropping in, and it's all come apart. Not enough time. Ultradilius will win and take themselves that round lead back.
Oh, we were just saying as Ultradilius possibly could have, you know, completely lost their grip. Lost their clutch. Yeah, Banana getting his dinner in.
He's stoked with himself. Obviously, it's good.
Excited,
it's good. He's fueled up. He's ready to go. This match should be over. I'm sorry. Sorry, Jeff. You should have had a burrito before the match.
Should have had burrito. Yeah, he's probably that's his whole talking point there for 16-20 Kings. Just
guys, we need dinner ideas.
We need dinner ideas. Somebody shout us. Somebody order some Uber Eats for the boys.
No. You got to make it from scratch. None of this Uber Eats stuff.
Look, I'm uncultured in that regard.
Need to locate and defuse
I'm
as
sorry.
many bombs as they can.
Banana, though, he's going to pick up another shotgun. It's the M1014 here for the Pulse as we head up to the third floor once again. They are primed and ready. 2 rounds needed to pick up the victory here over the 16-20 Kings on Cafe. Unfortunately, the last round was not successful in his attempts with the shotgun, mostly because Chef Jeff said, that's my gig, that's my shtick, my gimmick. How dare you get on camps?
Yeah, look, getting on cams is certainly still
10 seconds to go.
Definitely one way to really go about it, and
5 seconds to
certainly
insertion.
something that Banana probably would prefer to avoid. But the M1014 with a Vortex Hollow as well, I mean, that's not too shabby of a combination in regards to the optics. But I am curious how will Banana be able to utilize, because this is looking to me like a full-blown run-out setup.
There is no IQ on the board for Jeff, and Greg, he got a bit too ambitious, and that's a big scan from Banana. If he could hurry and get himself up top red stairs, he might have been able to make a nitro play, but he's not going to do it just yet, Lonely, yeah. He tried. Unfortunately, Greg is now dead. Banana, he wants to make a play. He wants to pull something off with his shotgun. He's limited in his options. He's only getting so much information on the scans. He's missed an opportunity there, unfortunately. Hello there.
Hey there. Poor man is just, he's trying to just make a rotation.
He's making his rotation machine there behind him. What you doing?
Yeah, machine is just, hey, I would like to reach out to you about your car's extended warranty.
Banana, he's hunted. He's hunted. He wants it. The pings are coming through. And Trippin might just get the info that he needs. He's going to go left, and maybe he should have gone right. And in fact, he definitely should have gone right. Banana. Oh, Banana, that's solid floor! You missed it!
Oh, yeah. We're talking about Burrito being, there to fuel him up. Maybe taking away his brain power. Sent him into food coma there.
Tier 2, by the way.
Tier 2, by the way, yeah. Tier 2 player, Tier 2 captain of the team, by the way, but alas, didn't come to fruition, really, there. Couldn't realize his utility too well, and for that, he's being paid rather dearly, down, but not out just yet. Fakers will try to make a play against the Machine. KJ finds the finisher onto Banana. That's a lot of damage, but not enough to down the Iana. And instead, well, it's all looking to be rather chaotic with those set of swings. A flawless round, as a matter of fact, from K16.
Not bad. Not bad at all. They're going to keep it close, keep it nice and even here. We go into the 10th. Montetelio still in the lead by 1. This map is gearing up to potentially reach overtime.
Overtime could be actually kind of huge here between the two rosters. Not only for the fact that also this could cause technically a fair bit of an upset, given the fact that, well, I mean, in the state of the Challenger League that was ended just about a couple of days ago, Altazelius actually ended up being on the bottom of the leaderboard. Now it's actually 1620 Kings currently on the bottom of the leaderboard. And they just continuing to just score just L's left, right, and center. At least up until now.
I have to check the leaderboard to try and remember. So there's 3 weeks of play after this week, of course. And so that means 9 possible points maximum, which, I mean, realistically could keep 1620 Kings in with a chance going into the final week of play in playoffs. But that's assuming they don't pick up the win here. They could win the next 3 rounds and close the map out. We have yet to know.
Yeah,
and Banana's he's off shotguns now. Unfortunately, he's not had his luck with it, and he's going to go somewhere else.
Yeah, gonna try to elect to go somewhere else. And I mean, the captain pick would really actually do quite a fair bit of work, possibly. That is, though, if K16 magically decide to abandon any sort of drone play, which has been actually quite clinical from them, especially on the attack. On top of the fact that Machine has been rather thoroughly utilizing the Iana drones to keep on peeping on Trippin. So I mean, you know, you gotta study your opponents, even if it's just calm civilian life.
Yeah, unfortunately, you know, the police reports. So yeah, officer, there was this guy behind me. Wasn't really a person; it was a hologram. At which point the cop probably stopped listening to it. But right now, Machine is in. He's in cigar shop. He's going to push further. He's 12-5. And oh, what a flick! Greg, get out of here!
Completely bodied there by Machine, and yeah.
In one of those cans, he's being called out.
Called out live on stream, caught in 4K. And yeah, look, Banana wishes that just nobody sees them, and yeah, understandably so. My man, look, as from a Capcan player to a Capcan player, that stuff is absolutely horrible. Absolutely, that's my bad as well on roasting the player. But Banana, yeah, look, maybe a new profession is there.
Honestly, he needs to embrace the shotguns even more. He can double down, go, you know, primary and secondary. But Bernardi's good for 2. Test it in Machine fall. It's onto Chef Jeff to try and clean up where his teammates failed. KJ spots him and will shut him down, but he almost loses his life for it. KT has to clutch up here. Jeff is coming at it and will be able to find the kill. Cthulhu, we're even up 5-5.
5-5 indeed, yeah. K16 doing a great job there, and absolutely just managing to bring it back. Good job, good read, and Banana, yeah, look, a little bit called out there altogether. Completely flogged on any of the attempts on the
Banana with this burrito. Maybe that's why.
I wonder how cold it was.
I think that maybe that's why we saw the bad cap cans in play. He was busy rolling his burrito.
Just unfortunately,
yeah, we're not getting to see his his burrito roll game. Like, he's got his whole setup there next to him, but we don't get to see the prep. That's disappointing, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, disappointing indeed. Rather not particularly very gamer of him with those Capcan positions.
Can we maybe get like a tac pause in, and we'll get him on screen so he can do it for us live.
Do it like a full screen as well on him as well. Just, you know, highlight the chef brain in him.
KT, is it both of them? Is it good for both? Yes, it is.
Oh, it is good. Nice.
That's why she is the most impactful player in the World League right now. 5-5, 1620 Kings have been good for a flurry of rounds here in the second half. We might see that 4-2 defensive side traded, but potentially, either team could close it out.
Yeah, K16 could actually make it work. They seem to have been, you know, much more awakened on the attack. They certainly were able to, you know, organize themselves rather well in the fact of, just looking a little bit more coordinated. They know how Altazelius kind of played out, and it was just a little bit more kind of clinical from them.
A bomb has been located.
Well, Greg, he's looking to get aggressive onto that red hatch, but it's tripping to find KJ. Able to pick that long angle from the red stairs. Greg is he's heading elsewhere. Despite the name, he's not quite spicy enough to get involved in that engagement. A player disadvantage and a significant one at that. You've lost your buck. Now it's on Chef Jeff to start opening those vert angles.
Yeah, the vertical angles, well, Chef Jeff could definitely still make it work without buck of KJ. It's going to be a little bit more difficult, albeit it's kind of interesting that no contention around the bakery is actually happening from Altazelius, which kind of leans into a rather easy entry, just even into the initial kind of side hallway into the prep room. Could we see, though, frags start, you know, compounding from there? Now, that could be a different kind of question because, well, the frag grenade actually didn't reach the Cade Claw.
Unfortunately, Gemini's not going to reach much further either. 90 seconds in play, player advantage there for AZ. Machine wants to get himself in through prep. And you can see just on the other side is going to be Banana waiting, but he's going to back off for now. The Banshee should be cleared out. It will be good for that. The Vert, oh my goodness, Jeff covering, provides that support. They do lose Tester, and there's a player close in that left position. KT, if she can find a kill here, it's going to be big, and she does. Fake is there to assist. Jeff falls in lonely. Ironically, is on his own.
What the ARX do? It do be floating there on the door. On the door frame, but in saying that, well, the only person who will be also alive and floating is going to be Lonely, trying to get a play here with another ARX, and against the 1v4, 40 seconds, that's what, just under 10 seconds for each one of the frags. That doesn't look like that might actually end up being the case. Maybe 1620 Kings will use it as the, quote-unquote, a attack pause, but Lonely still trying to, at least find a frag.
Come on, just swing him! Nitro cell there.
How does that not tag him at all?
Come on, Banana. Come on, just swing him! And Banana's dead. Luckily, though, KT's cracked.
Yeah, KT is absolutely cracked, ready to bait with her teammates on and on.
But
I mean, that's all that is needed for the frags. I mean, that's
iconic. Crips walking T-Rex that she is. 6-5 the scoreline. Altazelius on map point here, Cthulhu. They could do it on bar and cocktail lounge as well. The mirror in play, I mean, we haven't even touched on that. There is so much in play that we haven't even talked about because, I mean, we haven't needed to.
It's just too many things to really talk about, especially about how much of a disappointment Banana has been, especially with his cooking game today even.
I mean, look, the cooking game's better than last week. At least it's not spaghetti.
True, yeah, not wrong. Spaghetti definitely is a bit of an L kind of pick. But I mean, yeah, mirror pick could certainly work out here. Vector is a good play, especially for this kind of setup. I mean, you have the ultimate, I suppose, creative freedom in how you set up the mirror, because you could use both of the mirror windows on the freezer and go for the ye old Fnatic setup from the golden days of Siege of, say, about 2 or so years ago, maybe 1 year when the ANZ team was still there.
Yeah, how are those guys doing again?
Yeah, look, let's not talk about that. Or you could even actually go for just, utilizing the mirror windows to basically play maybe even, just around the bathroom area plus, the freezer. But we'll see how it actually all really works out, because there's also actually extra emphasis onto the reading room, which could be used as a bit of a foothold for the Romans to come back to.
Machine, Armoru, Chef Jeff, Glaz, Lonely, the Gridlock, and Tester the Young. KJ just rounding it out with a bit of a lion pick. I rate it. I do. I kind of rate it. I reckon this could be a very potent attacker lineup.
You only kind of rate it.
I kind of rate it in that I'm excited to see what it does, but I think given the defensive picks in play, this could go horrendously wrong. Really, they're just chucking smokes in, EE1D, and all of a sudden, Altazelius have to stop moving. Fakers doesn't care. He's going to find the first Nitro out. He's going to, actually, it's Banana with a Nitro to find the kill as Jeff is on the plant. No, Tester, sorry, he's on the plant. Machine there covering the angle. 3 versus 3, no Nitros to deny, but Banana, he's going to kill Machine. The plant's down, it's Jeff alone. He's ripping the OTS in sports mode. We'll find the kill on the trip, and the smokes are there. Do they have an eye on the diffuser and the swing out? Greg falls. It's Banana. Can he clutch up? He's got to reload. There is 27 seconds in play. This is doable right now. Banana's going to have to hit the shots. Banana. He's going to be tagged. Jeff goes for a reload of his own. He's going to get it. We go to OT.
He just does it, Panda. He just wins it, and just like that, 16-20 Kings, like you said, going to OT. What a way to close it out. And look, yeah, sports mode OTS. So far, just working out quite well.
Well, kitchen service, kitchen cooking. And Altazelius on the defense, which, I mean, given K16's prowess on the attack, speaks volumes.
Yeah. Speaks volumes indeed. Curious how it will
Attackers need to locate and defuse
how it will happen, but we're curious to see what will happen within the next round and see how it will go. But from here on out, I wonder, I mean, with this kind of lineup, so far K16 has been kind of seeming to be okay, but it was off the back of Chef now already, once again, dropping that double digits, and Machine actually pitching in on it as well.
First floor, they're going to try and make it happen here. Nitro Cells galore in play, but with the shots that K16 are hitting, I mean, look at Machine. He has felt a little absent, and even in saying that, he's still showing up, he's still putting in numbers, but this is sort of what we saw earlier on in the stage and what we were expecting from him. 16-8 for him, Jeff not far behind, 13-7, so it's good to see them hitting this stride. Yeah, we questioned, you know, after the initial half whether or not 16-20 Kings were in with a plan, but they're looking with a plan now.
Yeah, already Banana gone and out, completely dead in the water. Really unable to find any sort of spawn peak. We'll be kind of putting Altazelius at a bit of a disadvantage, but as it stands, 16-20 Kings may just be able to score the first point of the OT and see themselves keep on rolling. We might be seeing some further advancements, but as it stands, I mean, the rest of the team of Altazelius actually defaulted back to the side, interestingly enough, apart from Trippin.
Yeah, already. We are going to have to see Altazelius start to cover some of their bases, having lost Banana early. I mean, you got to respect the man's attempts to get aggressive up in the face of 16-20 Kings. Griggs upstairs. Ooh, he spots the head, and well, good night, Lonely finds the kill onto the Nomad. Unfortunately, Jeff is already in behind him and will trade him back. 16-20 Kings, they've fought from a deficit to find themselves here. They are going to fight tooth and nail till the bitter end.
Yeah, trying to fight tooth and nail so far. Machine going to try to find some sort of information going into this round.
Come on, Jeff. Come on, Jeff. You got it. You can't hit it from that angle.
Can't hit it from that angle at all. Unfortunate there for the man. C4 is prepared, though. C4 from Fakers could be big. Scripsty, interestingly enough, actually decides to rotate the Electroclaw to try to prevent the play. C4 pre-placed. And that could be big the moment the rotation comes around. Well, the camera is destroyed. Unfortunately, the timing is not there. And I believe, actually, this could be the attempt to K-trick this.
Definitely, but, I mean, it's positioning. If you find the right angle, yeah, unfortunately. Oh, they might even go for the Hibana trick here, which is what it looks like we are going to see. The hatch, unfortunately, the X-Kairo's not providing enough explosive threats, but it'll be enough to pop the Artillery Claw there, and there you go. KT with the trick in the final 40 seconds is making this hard. Machine with the nade has to go for the play. Will they clear out the Artillery Claw? Yes, they do. With 30 seconds remaining now, they can start to pop that hatch, start threatening those vert angles, but AZ are looking to hold on. They're making some good grounds right now. AZ need to hit their shots. They could definitely withstand the 16-20 push. Jeff Looking to get in long range from KT. Finally getting some revenge for the punishment that he's been dishing out. Stun, drop into freezer, player spotted. Another one on the shelf. KT distracted, but Faker's there to answer back. 2 versus 2. 7 seconds in which to make it happen. Machine picks up the diffuser. Fakers, he's in the side looking to deny. Shotgun in hand.
Oh,
he's going to
no.
deny. 1 second. And Altidelios will take the map point.
Oh my lord, the unfortunate turnout there from 1620 Kings. And yeah, look, Altidelios managing to bring this back off the back of basically from the get-go at 4 versus 5 with Banana just continuing to eat his burrito.
It's a shame. He was going for the chef's kiss too as we transitioned off cameras. Missed opportunity. He should just be more aware of what's going on around him. We missed a picture moment.
Just be patient. Sorry, be more focused for him.
Yeah, look, just know when you're on camera, you should be more aware of what's going on. But, Cthulhu, we find ourselves primed and ready going into the 14th round. Altidelios need 1 to close this map out.
Yeah. So at the moment, it's been a little bit of a kind of a back and forth venture, honestly, between the two rosters. I mean, 1620 Kings being able to dish out some heat has been a rather formidable kind of scoreline and performance from them. Unfortunately, just not enough to counter some of those rather clean, actually, plays from Altidelios, especially in the later stages of the match. So maybe it seemed like it was more so kind of Banana was the problem. If Banana is active, they kind of losing the rounds. If Banana is inactive and eating burritos, that's when they're winning.
Much like the old mantra for Odium, if Sawyer's franking out, chances are you're losing. It's I don't know what it is with that team, but if he's bottom of the leaderboard, chances are they're about to win the map. It's one of those weird mechanics internally for Siege that it's beyond our comprehension. But right now we're dangerously close to the end of this map. Remember, we've still got those 2,400 Rainbow Six credits to give away. Remember, tweet at LPL_R6S. Make sure you tell us what is your favorite comp map and why. Give us a good reason. And make sure you use the hashtag LPLR6S as well, because, I mean, we want to give them away. I'd hate, Cthulhu, to have to take the credits home for myself.
Yeah, look, ladies and gentlemen, use this as an opportunity to completely deny
Rob me, please.
And rob him of the R6 credits, as the man has an unhealthy obsession about the skins for all things for Tachanka.
Look, I do have a problem. I am a Na'Vi fanboy, regardless of how well the team performs. So yeah, if you leave me with the skins, that's where I'm buying. That's where I'm going first. Don't let me do it. Don't let me give in to the temptation again.
Yeah, and I mean, given the current setup, so the full kit is actually going to be just about enough for that giveaway amount. So I see it as a complete dub there. So for whoever wins out the giveaway, as it stands though, well, already a good amount of progress is being made here by Fakers and Co. As Cripsty just keeps on creeping around with the F2 ready to blast off literally anyone that decides to push up on to her. But interestingly enough, all decides to actually elect for a bit of a drone play here. Might be able to find a frag, but instead it's actually Machine to open up onto Trippin, and so is Greg onto Machine. So back and forth trades so far. Banana taking a little bit of damage. Cripsty, I'm pretty sure, yeah, she's very much aware about the presence on the landing of the white stairs, but is there enough pressure to force, because that swing, that is going to be deadly. No! KJ, you can't scan out the human utility.
Yeah, unfortunately, none of the operators in Rainbow Six Siege have a robot heart, so you're not going to get that info. That is big from K16, and that might just propel them into a position where they push for final round 15, maximum OT in play. And Cthulhu, we might even see an LPL Pro Rainbow Six kill record set here. Machine 18 and 10 right now. The big stuff for him. In Banana, he's going to find one of his own tested a fall. KJ answers back again. 2 versus 3, barring some miraculous plays from Altidelios. And Banana with the shotgun in hand, mind you, the secondary to go hard. He's going to swing out into Cocktail. He swings again. Shotgun does not connect. Unfortunately, neither does the follow-up shot. He's going to whip it entirely. It's down to Greg with 10 seconds to play. Pre-fire's not good enough. Lonely gets both of them, and we go to maximum overtime.
Good egg.
Good egg.
Good egg. All that.
Jets out of water. Sag We're in a bad spot right now, guys.
We're in a bad splat. Yes, you are correct.
Yeah, big bad spot. Jeff, I mean, head and hands out of water. He's rarely without hydration.
No hydration, just nothing comes off it without the hydration. Certainly, well, maybe this will be the big, effect. How previously, when KT infamously decided to betray AZ and predict against them. Well, this time it's the bottle betraying Chef Jeff, or rather Chef Jeff betraying his own self and finding the consequences of his action of just, trying to find copium in his bottle of water.
Never expecting to go to a full 15 here, obviously. Did not stock up.
Exactly.
Unlike Banana, who has had, supplies on hand the entire time. This is about preparation at its finest, Cthulhu. If you're not ready for a match of this length, you could find yourself struggling. Right now, though, I think Machine is the big story. He's 18-10. Can he crack 20? Has Machine taken the kill record for LPL Pro? I'd have to go back and check, but I think he is currently sitting at what is the maximum so far. But why limit him? He can go further.
Yeah, why limit yourself? Of course, still plenty of opportunities to keep on increasing, keep on pushing this. Because I believe, like, if he even pushes, say, for 20 or 21, he would be able to actually surpass his teammate from just in general in any tier 2 competition with ANZ, the kill record.
Yeah, oh, Greg. How many fadeaway shots are we going to see out of Oceania? They go for the initial shot and peel off immediately. So, unfortunately, no attempt at the spawn peak going to be successful. No return, no counter spawn peak going to be successful either. Machine, can he do it? Can he crack 20?
There is still a possibility. I mean, 2 frags, it's relatively workable. In case of Machine as well, ARX in hands, a gun that he is very well versed in. Should be able to nail a few really pretty shots. But as it stands, so far a relatively default decision to take the minibar. And then the piano room from there. We could possibly getting to see still get to see the quite a nice set of pushes from K16.
Machine, he wants it. He's waiting for it. Goes for the pre-fire into the bathroom, trying to open up a bit of an angle, something a little bit more aggressive. Nitro, though, from below is going to not find much of anything other than providing that awareness to 16-20 Kings that there is presence below. KT as well on the Capcan or Machine. Player on the white stairs. If he stands up, that could be dangerous. Okay, Jeff has noticed. Jeff is paying respects, and KT. I mean, look, it's KT playing the Capcan, so understandable. Made, primed, and ready towards white. Is it going to bank? No, it's eaten, but Chef falls to the Nitro Cell. KT, not only are a Capcans better, her Nitro Cell game is on point. Machine, 19-10. The kill record from Challenger League is 20 kills set by Tester from K16 as well. So if Machine, unfortunately it won't be a Challenger League kill record, but it'll be a 16-20 Kings kill record. And well and truly an LPL Pro kill record as well on top of it. So Machine, that'd be big stuff. He needs 2 more to make it happen. 45 seconds of play. They've got to make a push somewhere.
Yeah, at the moment it's kind of a little bit all over the place here by 16-20 Kings, but with them having the frag onto Banana, surely they should be able to find here a shot onto KT if she is out in the open. Very much would depend on how much utility will be cleared out, but less than 30 seconds. The push needs to commence now, right here.
20 seconds. 20 seconds on the clock. Greg takes down Lonely. Tester's on the plan, has to pull off, doesn't want to commit just yet. He risks losing his life right now. KT covering the angle with Greg there as well. Player on the white stairs, shots connect, but unfortunately Machine can't find the kill. Plant is down, it's good movements by 16-20 King. Shotgun in hand, the swing. Bakers, he's good for the kill on the Tester. Machine top white. Do they have the coverage from above? They should. Bakers on the defuse. Machine pulls off, he might fall. They take down Bakers, that's the player off the defuse. They just need to hold out for another 20 seconds. The swing, KT falls, courtesy of KJ. 2 versus 2, KJ falls, it's on Machine. A 2 versus 2, 1 versus 1. Machine with 20. If he finds his kill, it's 21 on the dot. And a record trip, and he's on the plant. Machine has to relocate. Not enough time. No, 16-20 Kings will take it on the clock. Trippin has to hold on. And unfortunately, Machine has the angle. 21 kills.
Oh my lord, and that's pretty much the kill record within Tier 2 competitions in general, he said. Now, once again, by a 1620 Kings member.
Massive stuff. Yeah, first time losing to 1620 Kings.
Oh, it's always a first.
You take it. But K16 finally get themselves a win here in LPL Pro. And what a way to do it too.
Oh yeah, absolutely a stunning performance here from 1620 Kings. And look, I mean, it was a little bit dicey, let's just say that.
They had us in the beginning.
They had us in the beginning. Full overtime, though, is still a great performance, both from AZ and both from the 1620 Kings. Though, congratulations to K16 for finally nailing the final nail into the coffin. And, well, for Banana, look, I mean, maybe you need to do some prep. You gotta cook rice before the match, man.
Yeah, look, maybe ahead of time, maybe ahead of the match. That would be the play rather than during the match, as entertaining as it was to watch him prepare and consume his dinner. Maybe ahead of time is the play for next team. But I mean, 1620 Kings, they now hold a record in CL and at LPL Pro. Let's get him in. Chef Jeff, the captain of the team. Okay, so at the beginning of this stage, you, Chef Jeff, said this was a rebuild period. On top of that, you've taken third overall in CL. You hold the kill record as a team in CL and now in LPL Pro.
Correct.
Where from here? Where do you go?
I don't know, to bed. I'm tired, man. I've had a long day. I didn't get enough sleep. Like, the Red Bull kept me up last night. I'm so tired, man.
Look, how tilting was it to discover that the water bottle was completely empty on, what was it, second to last round?
The water bottle was empty from round 5.
Oh Christ!
Oh,
I'm quite parched.
That's poor preparation. If I'm being perfectly
surely
honest.
not as parched as user though.
We'll move on for that one. But look, you go to Cafe against Altered Zelios. Obviously, there's a bit of banter between you two. I mean, how does it feel in LPL Pro to be picking up a win against a team like Altered Zelios, who have been quite dominant so far?
Oh, clearly they're the best in the world.
Easily.
Clearly, like there's no overstating it. There was definitely no amount of tomfoolery on our defense rounds, and definitely no one on our team was gaslit during those rounds. Definitely
of course.
No one.
Actually, one final question before we do let you head off.
Sadly, that's
zero from 1 to 10. Who had the better can traps? Was it Ben or KT?
Well, considering that I could shoot 4 of 5 Ben's can traps from the skylight without the possibility of being contested, I find it hard to not give the award to Katie. And we can also give the complimentary prize of better pre-play C4 as well, which I heard thinking it was further away, which I decided to then continue to walk into. So awards to Katie on that one. Clearly the better performance on the can on the day. Clearly.
Well, look, Jeff, before we let you head off, he's gone.
Yeah.
Honestly, it's probably for the best. The man needs some sleep. Unfortunately, Chef Jeff Elbozo when it comes to KT's Nitro Cells. But, I mean, Kasulu, 1620 Kings, they get their win.
Yeah, look, absolutely. They do get their win in quite an interesting fashion. And that does finally lift them off, I believe, from the bottom of the leaderboard, or at least gets them on the board with the points. Now, if you, dear viewer, as well, want to get on board with the points, then, well, all you need to do is tweet hashtag LPLR success and tell us what you think is the best map, or in just overall pool, and what is the best map for kind of, I guess, competitive play. And if you do get yourself a good, a good response for us, and we count it as a haha funny and very good one, very clever.
It can
you do
be
get
serious
yourself
too, if you want to lean that way.
Yeah, as long as it's creative. 2,400 R6 credits could be yours as well.
And make sure you get that done so we can feature it on the broadcast. But right now, we are going to be throwing it to an air break. When we come back, our final match of the day, Underground Esports Club taking on the Warriors. We'll be back soon. See you then.
ぜいつもここに来るんですか？フルーツならデリバリーもできます。お金もあるんですし。
金持ちはただ待っていろと？私をそんな風に見ていたのか。
いえ、でもここは人が多すぎます。
お前は信頼できる子だが、少し肩の力を抜いたらどうだ。でないと大切なものを見落としてしまうぞ。この果物とかね。これを一つ。ヒロ、どうした？震えているぞ。
伏せて。
お！
ここに。
私の家に忍び込むなんて自殺願望でもあるの？
久しぶり、由美子。八幡さんが。
ええ。話は聞いたわ。
見覚えは？手伝ってもらう。仇は必ず撃つ。
Kia ora whanau, that guy Zeno J here, and I'm back with Let's Play Live as our friends at Bandai Namco contacted us and said, hey, Zeno, do you want to review our latest game, Elden Ring, and see how you go? And, well, let's see how I go. What is Elden Ring? Well, Elden Ring is the latest title from Software in collaboration with George R.R. Martin to create a new open world epic story of a character who is tarnished and beyond the veil. In that world, they're going to have to fight for their life to try to beat the holders of the Elden Ring, where you will die a lot of times and you have to build up and level up your character. Like I said, it's open world, which means it's very, very epic and there's so much to explore. And once you have your trusty steed Torrent, you're going to enjoy so much more of the world that is out there waiting for you in Elden Ring. Now let's check this out. I did some reading online, guys, and what I saw, what was the thing, was to pick the astrologer class.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We're coming back hot off the back of, well, 1620 Kings and Altatelius at an absolute slugfest. They go the full distance, full 15, and 1620 Kings finally get themselves a win. Unfortunately, not the full points, only the 2.
Yeah, look, I mean, it's still a win as a win here for them, and given the fact that last 3 weeks has been a little bit of a kind of unfortunate run there for themselves, they finally do find themselves at that win, finally playing with the full 5-man roster as well, which finally kind of resulted in that win.
Now, like, we've been talking about it all broadcast. We have this competition going on. Make sure you tweet at us. So we have a tweet, apparently, for us to have a bit of a check of. What have we got? It's pretty simple. Rainbow Six Siege. The best comp map has to be plain, as it allows both teams to showcase their full range of skills in the most well-designed map in Siege history. Plus, it has the best game mode in it. Rainbow is Magic.
Yes, Rainbow's Magic has been, well, rather magical. And I mean, look, being able to utilize the Glaz rifle and the Cali rifle as well through those windows does give a little bit of a, you know, exhilarating gameplay there as well.
You had your chance. You could have submitted a map, but I did, and I win. So it's El Bozo for you guys. Make sure you do it next week because you don't want me walking away with more credits. You still got time, though. I've been told producers have
you're not getting those points.
I can't hold on to it for yet. My victory is not assured. Make sure you tweet in now, though. Get them going. It's not that hard. All you've got to do is write a short paragraph on which is the best map in Siege and why. It's not that hard. Make sure you do use the tags as well. Hashtag LPLR6S. Next map, though. Our final one of the evening. Underground Esports Club taking on the Vodafone Warriors. This one is promising to be a heater.
Yeah, look, I am actually quite curious to see how will Underground perform given just their state there, the fact that they got taken down by Team 7 last week, and, you know, they've had a few good openers at the very beginning of the season, but after that it was kind of all kind of on the downward spiral.
And look, their opponents, Vodafone Warriors, have been looking good. But let's get on into Underground, of course. They're coming in off the back of their loss last week. Pinku, MML, Zuve, Eraser, JPK. Their attack looked phenomenal on Chalet. When it came to their defense, though, they absolutely fell apart.
Yeah, the defense on Chalet has been a little bit of almost a questionable kind of result there, really, from UG, as one would have hoped to see a little bit more kind of fire really there from them, but it is what it is. Look, maybe it's only just the Chalet kind of curse for them. On the side of Warriors, I actually reckon they might just be that extra entity to give yet another loss there for UG.
Their opponents as well, the Vodafone Warriors, have looked scarily good as of late. In fact, they've taken some big wins across the board. Tress, Sean, Boff, Jordo, and Culture. I do believe Boff is not playing today. We'll have to wait for
actually,
confirmation.
Boff is playing.
So he is playing today. So the OG of this roster and one of the OGs of the Tier 2 scene in ANZ coming back into play.
Yeah, it's good to see that Boff is back into the swing of things, at least in the context of this kind of matchup, and we could certainly see how things will really work out. But actually, addition of Triss has been a rather interesting one. A player that I don't think he did see a whole lot of performance apart from kind of, I think, LPL Evo, maybe LPL Amateur, and now kind of going into LPL Pro as part of the Warriors lineup. I'm actually quite keen to see how he will perform, because the man is actually kind of a bit of a rank demon.
Going to the head-to-head, let's take a look at who we're most wanting to see tonight. Of course, brought to you by Rocket. Ryan Pinku Rainwright taking on Tristan Triss Roleff. Coming into this, Triss, the newest addition for both these teams coming into play. We've seen a bit from Pinku. We have yet to see Triss, and I mean, coming into this Warriors roster on the heater that they are currently, I have no doubt that he's going to perform big tonight. Yeah,
look, I definitely am quite keen to see how will Pinku and the rest of the team will really perform, given that they had a decent, play on the attack. They know how to attack. It's more so the defense that kind of has been a little bit all over the place, but it's good to see that Vodafone Warriors kind of still looking all pretty solid. But one thing that is concerning me, whilst yes, having Boff is great, while having Triss is great, Bopt being absent is a point of concern that could possibly impact to a certain degree the performance of Warriors, given that a lot of that very aggressive play has been very much relying on Bob to be the one to push. But again, there's still Sean, there's still Culture, there's still Jordo. All three of those players could really pop off as well.
Yeah, I mean, Bob, he's been a little bit lackluster in the last week. Not to say he's a bad player, but Jordo was the one that stepped up and filled that void in quite a great way. Let's see, though, where the battle will commence. Obviously, what map are we going to in this matchup? Of course, Theme Park, Bank, and Clubhouse banned out first. We get all the way to the end. All the fun maps are gone. We're left with Borrigan.
Yeah, it's...
At least it's not Villa.
True. Yeah, no wrong. And Villa actually did get banned out as a fourth map overall, so...
Good. Teams are getting with the program. Now we just need to get them banning Oregon as well.
It's always a good day when you see just Villa banned in the early stages. It's I take that dub every day of the week, honestly. But legitimately, though, Oregon could actually be a really good map. Yes, we all kind of seen it play out, and we all kind of grown to hate on it as well. But in the context of this, again, matchup, well, Chalet no longer working there at all. And, well... kind of just going to Oregon, it's back to basics, back to kind of revamping all your plays, all your strats, all your approaches. And I think for both of these teams, that's exactly what's going to be the case here. For Warriors, they obviously want to, get a little bit more of a feeling how would, say, players like Triss will be able to fit into the roster, at least within the context of LPL Pro. Whereas for Underground, they just want to get back into the swing of things and kind of reset themselves on their general performance.
Well, let's get on into Oregon, of course, our final map of the day here in Playday number 4. Vodafone Warriors taking on Underground Esports Club, and we did get the chance to talk to MML earlier in the stage, and he said, well, I mean, we go to the newer maps because the higher level teams don't play it. We're going back to basics, though, today. We're going back to Oregon, which is a staple of the high level community.
It is a staple, indeed, yes, but it's also kind of, we have to take into consideration, whilst, yes, they managed to show us a decent performance on the newer maps, Chalet, a map that is kind of new-ish, kind of not kind of sitting kind of in between the the popularity and the pick rate. They kind of just didn't really feel it, especially the second half. So I think it was kind of almost a necessity for them to go back to basics, to go back to the map that has been played out to just absolute bits and just make sure that they are just nailing their basic performances.
Boff. That is Boff, by the way.
Yeah.
Kaz, old Kaz Tanner. This isn't
Boff
Chalet.
knows.
It is not. He's onto it. He's very much aware of what's going on right now. Flores, the first ban, coming the way of the Warriors as they start out on the defense. Of course, Underground on the attack will have the response.
Yeah, attack. I mean, I'm thinking it's going to be a Thatcher, very much kind of a basic kind of set of bans here. I don't think we are going to be expanding into anything too big. I would have loved actually to see Finca banned out. That would have been actually an interesting kind of spanner in the works of both of the teams, albeit I think both rosters are a little bit too much reliant on the Finca boost, so understandably so neither of them would want to ban it out. Now, Valkyrie out, I'm assuming it's going to be either Cade or the... Actually, no, Cade? Maybe Mira? Possibly Mira?
I would
Cade or
imagine
Mira,
Mira more than Cade.
Actually,
No, okay,
Cade.
so Mira is going to be in play.
Yeah, so Mira being back into the play, she could work out here, but again, a lot of utility would need to be really based around her, and given with how nowadays, say even for the kids' dorms and main hall as well being played out from especially the vertical positions, there's not a whole lot of safe ground for Mira windows to be placed without them being shot out from down below.
Now, I mean, if people did want to, still go for that chance to win the credits, I've noticed, the Rick and Morty background card, you can also buy the Rick and Morty skins.
That's
this year,
true.
If that's what floats your boat. Doesn't have to be skin share program skins. I mean, seasonal skins. There's so many other options that you can get if you want R6 credits to use. And I mean, look, I know I've already said my eggs are in the Na'Vi basket, unfortunately. So if you want to deny me that opportunity and stop the fanboy trend,
honestly,
that's your opportunity.
Honestly, just the sheer abundance of skins nowadays in Siege does allow you to go for some rather cursed combinations.
Oh yeah, look,
I mean,
we're not even going to talk about your lion. No.
Are we going to talk about my Mira though?
No, none of them.
Exactly.
Honestly, if you run into Cthulhu in casual, do not stare at his character for too long. It's just, it is not. It is ironic given his eldritch name. It is the thing of nightmares.
Look, it's all about the mental warfare, and I'm here to chalk it from the very beginning, whether it's teammates or my enemies.
Yeah, look. It's not a pretty sight, it really isn't. But right now, what is a pretty sight is we're getting round one underway. Underground on the attack. They need to make some money moves, and look at that already. The Mira coming into play in a big way.
Both on Mira. First time in a while, actually, I think we see him actually bring out the Spaniard in his play.
I think this is the first time we've seen Boff since what, Playday 1 of CL this year.
Believe so. Actually, yeah, that's a very good point. The man has been in that retirement for quite a while. Oh, well, I say retirement. In
backseat.
Yeah, backseat. Yeah, let's call it that, backseat. So they're quite keen, because I remember actually back in the first Playday, he was actually able to pull off quite a number of rather magical plays with the UMP as well. So him on Vector, well, look, that's more fire rate, more chances to hit the head. So I'd say I'd take it. And with Sean getting the better of MML as well, Iana out of the equation rather early is a really good beginning.
Yeah, especially the amount of utility clear that would have been responsible for MML. And well, it's now on to JPK and Zuve to try and clear out some of that defensive utility. Frag grenades towards top big tower. It's going to tag up Sean just a little bit more. And finally, they have cleared things out from below. They will be able to start opening up the wall into games. And look, they've recovered well. They still need to make some big moves, though.
Indeed. Well, looking at yet another set of swings. Sean decides to face Tank for some ungodly known reason. The flashbang. Maybe he's just a sucker for punishment, and maybe just doesn't want his retinas to be alive. It stands though a swing comes about, frag grenade is in, it is good from Zuve, at least it's a trade from the grave, but it is a great frag actually, given that that eliminates completely any sort of contention from another flank, so it will make the push of Underground, of the remaining players, very one-dimensional. That is clean.
It's the Warriors, it's the combination of weeks of hard work pushing them to this point where they are a top contender. JPK hits the nano booster. Razor is trying to get over there and join in on the fun. Culture should get some audio cues, and he's going to head up to T3 right now. JPK primed on this trophy door. Frag grenade eaten by the ADS, and Eraser on the hunt, hits the headshot onto Culture. That's a big kill. JPK in a world of hurt right now. Eraser's push from Pit is going to be huge. He finds the kill, the angle onto Jordo. We're suddenly in that 2 versus 2. Eraser good for another, but Triss to hold down. He needs to hit the head. Big damage. He's gonna miss by millimeters, and somehow Underground bring it back.
Ay. And you can see the health differential there was literally off just by a single round. Unfortunately, therefore, well, Warriors, that couldn't really happen. But a valiant effort from Triss, though, I have to say, and nearly managed to make it work. Unfortunately, the LMGE just goes a little bit too hard, and, well, the rest is history. Underground do score themselves the first point off the back of a rather just all over the place performance, really. I mean, starting from losing MML in the early stages, losing completely any sort of presence in the attic, then nearly fumbling your whole push through the master bedroom as well. There's been a number of mistakes that ended up being just redeemed by the sheer ability of just utilize the 150 round box mag.
Well, I mean, there is something that stands out to me about that round. It's the communication. So Culture dies T3, which, I mean, Eraser has to be coming up through Big Tower. And we see the player who was Pit looking towards Trophy to try and deal with JPK. So obviously the communication either didn't come or it was completely ignored. Because all of a sudden, the one player who could have stopped the Razor was looking the wrong direction and got fragged out for free.
Yeah. Something that Warriors will obviously have to address going further into this matchup. Curious if they will be able to follow up any further and will be able to, you know, amend to all of these mistakes. Kaz already been swapped over to the Alibi, but does he know about the absolute phantom menace that is Razor sitting, well, hanging rather, upside down on that window in Armory?
They've got a drone in there, so the pings are coming through. The right attempt, Culture unfortunately takes more damage than he deals and will in fact be fragged out by MML. JPK there for a second onto Triss. They're hitting their shots in a big way. You lose your Malusi and your Wemai in the first minute of the round, and that's a significant deficit. The knee spotted. Boff will go down as well. Eraser, massive kill and massive stuff out of Underground.
Underground so far seeming pretty much back to being reactivated here. It's all down to Jordo and Sean to try to make a play here, try to make a set of swings, but as it stands, I mean, against 5 fully healthy operators of UG, it's looking to be a rather tenuous task, really, with already quite a thorough push about to come out from the attic as well. There's a number of problems looking to happen. Hologram destroyed, but look, that reveals already Jordo's position, and the swing is not good. Why are you re-swinging the same angle with the SMG? Reloading does get the better of Zuve. That's a good night. Now 4v2, this could be very much workable. I say that, though, that's a grenade. That's not good.
Sean, he's good for 1 at the Pinku. 3 versus 1, this is doable, given how low Eraser is. The Nitro in hand as well. If he can find the angle, it would be huge. Nano boost to come through. A toss up. The Nitro does big damage onto JPK, but won't find the kill. Plant is down now. It is Warriors at the disadvantage. The swing aggressively towards top white. Sean, SMG11 has to go hard here. He's going to swing aggressively, but JPK, LMG up, finds the kill. And Underground will do it twice, taking down Dawns.
Clean deal by Underground. Now being able to claim a much more coordinated win here against Warriors. It feels like a kind of Warriors, they attempted to go for a much more kind of, you know, ranked styled kind of play with just the sheer abundance of run out. The only issue is that Underground, whilst yes, they are kind of, even in the interviews, they mentioned that they kind of just approaching this more so as almost like a ranked gameplay from them, or rather with their strats. It's still a coordinated play from them. I mean, they still being able to cover up. It is a very much of an extended as well play from the attack. I mean, it's not as focused as it was in round number 1. Round number 2, we saw pretty much Underground spread across the whole of the map, and being able to catch those rotations back from those runouts, pretty much being well, it ended up being the one to kind of start the whole snowball effect against Warriors.
Basement on the cards. Warriors trying something a little bit different here. With the mute in play, There might be some shenanigans that UG have to get up to try and open that elbow wall should the relocate and the pullback happen. Pinku on the Hibana, they haven't really got too much in terms of the clear itself. Drones as well being cleared out. That is a lot of information they want to deny. And there you go. I mean, we're only just starting the round. There are 6 drones left in play.
Good decision by Warriors to try to hunt down on and double down on denying that information game for UG, given that how reliant they were on that sheer amount of information. So as long as essentially UG are forced to go for those face checks, that's where Warriors could really be in that great contention for themselves, in that ability to be able to shut down a number of aggression bits from UG. But in saying that, so far, I mean, the attack, once again, still being rather dominant.
As it is, I mean, you look at the numbers across the board. Razor 5-0 right now, looking for more tags. Kaz, Boff in the arm. It's going to be a little bit disconcerting. You're not used to seeing old Boff running a different tag. But right now, I mean, they've burnt a minute already, and Shot is going to find the first kill onto the Finker, no less. That is a massive kill for Warriors to claim.
Already in saying that, though, a trade did come about with MML getting the better of Boff as well. It seems to be like it is going to be a rather big, aggressive play towards the kitchen, but funnily enough, well, nobody is actually still going to be around the kitchen. Triss is probably the closest person on the freezer stairs, looking to try to make a play, but a lot of vertical utility has been dedicated without actually being able to open up a whole lot of hatches nor a whole lot of avenues, just period, for Underground, which feels a little bit almost redundant. But again, I think this is where that lack of drone utility, where it's going to be coming in. Because what, it's 2 drones available, and only now it's being utilized to just go for live drone for Zuve. But without that, I mean, that's already quite a fair bit of time used up for just clearing out the top and the ground floor.
The wild thing is we're going to the final 50 seconds. It's just MML with the drones remaining. Triss decapitating Zuve. Hits the 180, spots the player bottom, Laundry, but the shots are good from Eraser. His second in the round, and this big box mag going pretty hard. Toxic Canises will force him back for now. Pinku as well being denied. MML with the C7 trying to connect onto anything. And we are just getting so deep into this round right now that if Underground do not make a push, they will find themselves locked out entirely in Sean. He's good from the cross angle. It's a big kill. Unfortunately, will be taken down by Pinku from long range with the Type 89. Toxic Canisters still to stall things out. None left. Culture. He's good for the kill on the Pinku, but Eraser hits back on the Jordo. Triple. Time is not there on his side, though. All Culture has to do is sit and wait. 3 seconds. He needs to relocate the pre-fire. Is it going to be good enough? Yes, it is. Underground take a 3rd in a row, and Warriors unfortunately miss out.
Eraser just once again pulls out the win out of a literal magical hat. And Underground, once again, are at the precipice of completely losing out on any sort of opportunity with the time-wise, but fall due to that aggression. And again, even for Triss, the man just can't seem to be able to find any sort of solution against the Zofia. It's that continuous lean, that continuous crouching the moment the swing comes in. And look, yeah, almost surprising the way how things been going for Warriors here.
Attackers need to locate
I mean,
as many bombs as they can.
It's just, it's rough. It really is. Just the brutality in which Underground are approaching the site and their attacks, the shots, the big LMG. I mean, honestly, if I was Warriors, I think I would almost make the call. Get a clash in there. Make it harder for that LMG to go to work. Get in the way. And just try and deny them where you can. And I mean, yes, it is a pretty niche pick. There are a lot of teams that just don't have someone that can handle the clash the way that it should be played. But even still, just sit it in the doorway. If you've got the cover on the long angle, deny the opportunity for her to be backstabbed. I mean, it can be pretty hard to deal with.
Yeah, look, it's definitely a little bit of a interesting kind of dynamic here for Warriors, as they're trying to almost play this kind of just to their own comfort zone, but obviously the comfort zone ain't working really against Underground. So yeah, I would love to see something across the lines. Even just if you don't want to play Clash, play just even an Ella or play a Legion, just something as that slowdown, as to force to just keep on being distracted for one or the other reason.
I'd love to see the Goyo even.
Goyo even, yeah. Goyo would be a phenomenal attack, especially if you just put those canisters onto the barricaded doors. The moment those go down, you already have a really good indication, plus a slowdown. No way one of the underground players would decide to go swing into the flames. And I say that Kaz and Culture already pitching on the whole dilemma. That's Zuve and MML out of the equation. Another swing, good crossfire as well from Warriors, I have to say that.
Number of bases being covered there by the setup. It is the two LMGs left in play, JPK and Eraser, who is currently deathless, 9-0 right now. He's going to swing on to Kitchen, but Sean, he's just better at ring around the rosy. And it will be down to JPK. He does have 3 nano boosts and 2 frag grenades, as well as that big box mag to play around. But with a minute 47, I mean, this is what Warriors needed. They needed to get up in the face of Underground Gaming, play the numbers game, and overwhelm the diffuser. It looks like a trap in the middle of the hallway there for JPK, and it is very much that at the moment. Free fires galore, and Culture wins it out, the Warriors. That is a big round for them to take.
Finally, we do see some good kind of return to form, a good performance. Triss, I'm not too sure how healthy that sheer amount of flash is in his face, but
if it's good enough for Machine.
Yeah, true. If it's good enough for Machine, it's good enough for Triss. Look, honestly, a good return to form, though, by Warriors. It took them 3 rounds to finally get amongst it all. They finally kind of got accustomed to the way how Underground push, and well, from there on it was all a rather clean performance. Now they just need to repeat this 2 more times to make it a 3-3 scoreline, which will make things a whole lot nicer and snappier once they do go onto the attack, because I actually reckon once we do see the Warriors on the attack, I think this is where they might actually be able to go higher in the scoreline against Underground.
Yeah, I mean, with a round like that, if Warriors can keep it up, we are likely to see another overtime tonight, of course. But round 5 here, 2 remaining in the half, including this one. We head back up to Dorms, which already has been a rough shot for them.
Rough indeed. Still rather curious to see if anything will come out of this kind of setup from themselves. Might be seeing some good swings. I mean, on the side of UG, I mean, you look at their lineup, it's a double down onto the hard breaching play. And it's actually a pretty decent idea, given the fact that, obviously, for this kind of site, for this kind of setup, they would want to have another way of, getting the breach. And they've managed to make that Maverick play quite well, despite even, occasionally going down amidst those gunfights. It was still the ability of, procuring a number still of damage to the utility, to the getting some frags as well. So overall, I mean, not a bad setup. And Triss gets cut off on that pre-fire, and JPK just almost catches basically the freest pre-fire possible.
Yeah, that's UMI down. It's unfortunate. Magnets are going to be as they stand currently in the round, so limited in what they can deny already. Underground making do with the opportunity, and we'll get that attic wall open. No one playing in pit just yet. Jordo can look to relocate, and already they've completely nullified any opportunity to hold that position in a significant way. That's big ground for Underground to be taken.
Yeah. Ready. Breach is done. Angles opened up. A whole lot of positions now ready to be taken. Culture getting the better of MML, though. That is a big, scrumptious win. Culture, you need to pre-aim those, buddy. As Zuve does absolutely just roll him, folds him like an omelet. And at this point, Ugia has already taken quite a hefty amount of ground, with Zuve getting the better of Jordo as well. It is all looking rather grim here for Warriors.
Shot in the relocate towards top white. Boff identifies he's in trouble, and Kids at the moment. Bit of damage onto Zuve, but nothing massive. Shot falls, so does Kaz. Razor hitting some ripper shots of that LMGE right now, just absolutely shutting down the push and any attempt at denial. 4 for Underground on the attack.
Well, Underground, yeah, doing a really clinical job here on the attack. Certainly landing the shots, and I gotta say, yeah, basically without the Razor, the scoreline would have been completely different here. And Underground, yeah, look, they're looking pretty dominant so far, 4-1 scoreline. And Warriors kind of look almost kind of toothless there with their performance. Yes, one round has been good, and they managed to have all those crossfires, but I think there needs to be kind of an executive decision just to stop going to the top floor site at all, just period. It hasn't worked out really them for at all, and maybe because I don't think we actually even seen, oh wait, no, sorry, we've seen one laundry defense, but that was actually relatively close, so maybe a retry of that would have been a much better venture, but I say that, well, round 6 and we're seeing a tertiary site to be brought out instead.
Yeah, basement was actually the only site that was successful, and they won it in the 4th, so it's currently locked, unfortunately. So they're going to have to make do. Meeting and kitchen, like you said, on the cards. We see the castle coming into play for Boff. He's setting himself up with it. He's got the super shorty in hand. He's just trying to relocate. Put the castle barricade up on that shower corridor double into the small tower. He's going to be setting up the foot angles as well. A bit of a desync there on the spectator between the shotgun and the wall being hit. But it's just a spectator bug. It's how it works. It's fine.
Well, with round 6 now upon us, we are looking at Warriors attempting to at least make this scoreline at 4-2, which would be still pushing it into the realm of possibility of, you know, bringing things around into their hands. But, you know, we talked at the beginning, before the matchup even started, that Underground, you know, they have to get back to basics, you know. Don't get too cheeky on some of their plays. Just make sure to nail their performances, at least in the mechanical department. Certainly that has been done in full. I mean, namely, Eraser. Again, without him, EG would have probably ended up being rather toothless, and a number of the rounds would have been, well, more so given to Warriors, and the scoreline could have been even more so. There could have been a possibility for a 4-2 in favor of Warriors. But as I say that, though, with JPK once again out of the equation, Dointh completely deleted, brutally murdered by Kaz with the UMP, the absolute fiend, Zuve in a crossfire, a triple crossfire as a matter of fact, does get the better of, but already Sean finds a trade and dips out rather promptly.
Doesn't want to hang around too long, and it's understandable, honestly. Zuve and the rest of Underground will just keep clearing across this top floor. MML up above has gotten control of Attic, so they can maybe look to make a plant attempt. No Osa in play, which is traditionally what you see on this bomb site. That cheeky little shield plant just on the stage, and that shield could prove a little bit of a hassle if they haven't got the denial in play. Jordo with the toxic canisters could deny this plant attempt.
Oh man. UG, now a minute remaining, will be attempting to get any sort of really opening for themselves, but because of just the sheer scuffness of that one soft wall, things are not looking particularly too favorable. Kaz, once again, just an absolute menace to the society with the UMP-45, gets the better of Zuve. Completely no information for Pinko about the whereabouts of the UMP, and there we go. Baited, read like a book, played like a fiddle. It's all left to MML to do anything, and even he cannot land a single thing.
Sean happily putting the L in MML in that round, unfortunately. A 4-2 half for Underground. The Warriors now head over to the attack, which, I mean, on Oregon, I mean, it is 50-50. That is the most evenly spaced map across the board globally for this map. So Warriors, I mean, they have every chance of repeating and going 4-2 on their attack.
Yeah, well, Warriors could certainly do this. Could certainly make it play. The lineup that they are bringing out is actually quite versatile. I am rating the idea of bringing in the Capitao and possibly using his kind of utility for isolating a number of the gunfights, which could be actually a really good idea, albeit, well, it's a nice opinion from them. One problem, Pinku is on Wamai. And so all the Capitao bolts could be rather promptly basically negated, and, well, all that is left is, well, instead of Capitao, you get a Clapitao.
Indeed. And, well, I mean, there's still enough utility clear on the side of Warriors to deal with those Wemo magnets and the ADS as well. 2 shields in play. You're going to have that elbow position, I would imagine, over towards the rotate into washing machines as well being set up. But you look at the roam, you look at the upstairs presence to the side of Underground to try and hold off on the defense. And cheers, Sky. A great shot. He's an amazing spectator, he is.
Sky just keeps on, just every time, just impressing and making this such an enjoyable time, just casting him. watching all of the games. Man is an absolute legend in and out of the game, and an absolutely talented observer. So actually, a very talented caster as well whilst at it. Funnily enough, he was one of the OGs back in the casting days of ANZ competitive.
It's in his name on Twitter, Skycast. It's his origins.
He's built differently.
Batman's, Batman, his parents died. He used to cast back in the day, so of course he understands the game at a level more than most. And cheeky little angle there, JPK going toe to toe with Shant, just jiggling around, doesn't want to commit to the angle. I believe that's Shant. Sorry, it might be Culture. No, okay, so it is. It's going to be Shant. That's the Yana, 100%. Yes, I'm so good.
Oh, very good, very nice. Well, in comes the swing, in comes the push. JPK expecting some sort of a push from the right side of that doorway. Will actually be able to promptly back away directly into Culture's shot. And, well, it's all down to Pinko again. About to be drawn out, spotted by the hologram, and dips out of that position rather promptly. But already there's a hatch opened up. Could have been caught out on that rotation, but alas, did not really happen. MML looking to hand out one of his L's to one of the attackers.
He's going to have to be very selective with it at the moment. Eraser 11 and 2, pulls back off the angle, doesn't want to overcommit. They're all hunkering down on the site. Zuve will relocate that ship. Not the most flexible of positions, though. You could find yourself getting caught on that rotate if you're not careful.
There is a possibility of that, but I reckon it is going to be more so kind of an anchor play there from the smoke of UG. Apart from that, it's very much of a kind of a turtle-like hold now, transformed from a very flexible play to the moment they lost their Romer Triss is just, where do I go? I can't go here, I can't go here. Well, guess I'll just go nowhere.
And unfortunately, Culture will fall. No more Finker in the round. So they're going to have to find themselves the opportunity with as much health as they have remaining. Boff the most tagged on the side of Warriors. The rest of the lobby, though, healthy as anything. We head to the final 30, and the play has to come from the Warriors. They need to get themselves down into that site, or at least find the frags to enable themselves to go for that plant. Pinku playing around the storage hallway right now. Shot out towards bunker. Eraser is going to be the one to contest in just a moment. 15 seconds, and Shot looking the wrong way, gets shut down. He's good for 2. Triss falls as well. The swing in through freezer, shut down by MML. It's Jordo. He's in. He's going to find one, and that is it. Pinku answers back with a pistol of h... own, and yeah, the ... in chat, understandable.
Yeah, a little bit of a interesting turnout there, but we'll get to chill for a little bit before we swap things around. Yeah, look.
Zuve is lost.
Yeah, Zuve is actually lost, yeah.
Zuve thought it was get in for the selfie, not kill the last player alive.
Oh well, it's a point for Underground. 5-2 scoreline, as it looks to be a rather decently decisive performance from UG yet again, here this time against Warriors.
Attackers need to locate.
As I gotta say though, like it's been a very questionable, first half from the attack of Underground, and definitely a lot of things will still need to be addressed if they do intend to stick around for longer than season here in LPL Pro by themselves. And honestly, with the sheer kind of performance from Eraser, I wouldn't be surprised if, say, he comes of age to play in Challenger League and Nationals and any other leagues. I think he will be a really formidable pickup as a fragger, as an entry. The man is pretty talented.
Very much so, and the defense being set up here by Underground in what could be the round that scores the point. Round number 8, of course. Dorms, the site on the cards. Nothing spectacularly out there on the side of defense or even on the attack. It's all pretty straightforward.
Well, indeed, pretty straightforward. I'm looking forward to see what could actually be the play and the choice of that play. Kaz actually swapping over to the Maverick. I'm curious how will he be able to perform here, given that Triss actually swapped off to a much more rudimentary kind of pick when being the Ashe player for the team. G36C in hands, plenty of destructibility as part of his utility pack. MML though could really shut things down rather thoroughly he's not too careful, already reveals his position that there may be a bit of a flank play coming around. And actually, Triss holding a rather peculiar spot here to basically be able to scot-free be able to cover Kaz.
MML might even make that push up, and Triss should have that angle. If MML does go a bit deeper, and yeah, he's going to spot it. Shots are good. Takes his time getting there, but he does get the kill in the end. That's one key player off the board. Unite Trissell gone. They still have tools, though, on the side of Underground to hold off on this defense.
Already plenty of openings available there for the taking by Warriors. Getting rid of MML is a great deal because, well, that's C4, that's a lot of that Shogun and SMG11 play out of the equation. Rather unfortunate for the UG player, but the rest of the UG roster can still dish out quite a number of punishment. But I say that Razor finally taken out by Kaz. That's the big performer of UG down.
Yeah, big kills already to kick this off for the Warriors. They need to make the push successfully, though, going into the final minute. There are 5 on board. Toxic canisters are still made back. Unfortunately, not going to connect onto JPK. This is going to be a close run thing. Boff into the plant, trying to make it happen. Is there anything to deny? Pinku in danger. Zube hit with the white screen and the dorms, and the plant is going to be successful. Pinku top white. JPK coming out of kids, looking for the pre-fire, can't connect onto it. Cthulhu with Pinku falling. I think this is all but set in stone for the Warriors. They do answer back with 1, but Boff, not only does he get the plant down, he gets 2 kills.
Yeah, manages to get himself on board rather nicely within the context of that round, and good job. Warriors managing to keep themselves afloat, not really allowing Underground to gain any more points, which could possibly lean into, once again, the storyline of the overtime rather heavily. Again, as long as they can keep on making that play happen, it could be all very much worth it. 2 points separating us from a draw between the two rosters. And Kids Dome and Main Hall is going to be a retry from UG, as they kind of seem to be acknowledging that, hey, we've done a number of mistakes, the way how it was played out, not particularly the brightest way about it, and certainly losing MML in the early stages of that round didn't particularly help either.
Not at all. Not at all. I mean, they are going to pivot him onto the Wemai this round instead of playing the Mute, so a bit of a chop and a change. But in saying that, they have no breach denial on that walk-in wardrobe. Neither do they have breach denial on Attic. So unfortunately, it's not going to be read into just yet by the Warriors. They're just going to stick with what they know.
10 seconds to go.
I would imagine Zube might attempt the impact trick, potentially MML, but Pinku down in that main lobby looking for a bit of aggression, trying to find some of these drones, clear out the information gathering, and looking to contest from Garage as well. He wants to find the opening shots aren't going to connect, unfortunately, and he's going to relocate himself back upstairs.
He still wants to find at least some sort of damage here. The blind pre-fire certainly won't really be helping him a whole lot, which means that he will be forced to fall back. With the peek from the windows, he acknowledges that there is presence around that spot and will be eliminating one of the drones. Well, draining the information gathering utility even further, which doesn't leave really us with a whole lot of possibilities, with a whole lot of options. I believe only 2 drones available at hand there for UG, at least in the pockets of their players. As it stands though, Kaz nearly had his head taken off cleanly there by a Razor.
Buff will also get himself in. Razor down to the base. We're going to do a full relocate through on that deep roam right now, but it's Pinku to find the first onto Culture. Yafinka off the board, unfortunately, early on. He hung around in that main lobby position and it did some big damage because of it.
So he hung around and found out. Well, for Culture, unfortunately, all he found out was just the damage and the death. For UG, though, this is a great opportunity to start their own kind of momentum and restart their whole march towards the match point and then, well, the win itself. Only 2 rounds away from that very thing. And with the Razor still being alive and the rest of UG still being very healthy, this is a good moment, a good time for the play, for the push. Zube, though, does take a little bit of a damage. And actually, oh no.
KT!
Shout out to KT.
Alone.
Yeah. Shout out to KT. Rather unfortunate their result. Might be worth to consult with the gamers. And oh, Frag Grenade actually dropped as well on that diffuser. That is not good at all. And yeah, look, New Zealand Warriors not particularly looking too hot right now within the context of this round.
Zuve now the most impactful player in the LPL Pro competition. You love to see it. Yeah, of course, carpet. Well, yeah, sure. We'll put it down to that, Zuve. Unfortunate, but they still maintain the player advantage going into the final 40. Triss going to look to push on through, regain control of the diffuser, but Pinku doing some big damage in the round. MML swings, it's too little too late. Pinku having already found Jordo. Triss incredibly low. And this round will all but put Underground on map point. Impact gone. Pinku from long range, massive damage, massive round from him. 4K in it.
4K indeed, and look, that was well done, well played by Underground, really well paced as well, and yeah, a bit of a unfortunate result there for Zuve, at least, but the rest of the team was able to pull up quite convincingly. So now, Underground, once again, looking to get themselves back up into the swing of things. And funnily enough, will continue actually in points and in that tiebreaker. If they do end up winning here, keep on contesting against Odium for the first place, which is something that I never thought that I would say, comparing Odium and Underground, a tier 1 in, well, basically a tier 1 in a tier 3 team, at least within the level of competitions that they've previously played prior to LPL Pro. But it's good to see that, you know, that clash of different levels of play kind of come together and see in which kind of situations which one is better.
Yeah, I think you also got to remember. You've also got to wonder how much are they trying to conceal, given that, you know, the OCN and OCL teams have a very big weekend ahead of themselves. So the last thing you want to be doing is revealing strats against, you know, ahead of a competition like that.
And I mean, in context of Warriors as well, I mean, you have Chris, you have Ball, like, that's already quite a fair bit of
Warriors who have a very scary opponent this weekend in the first round, being the Chiefs.
Yeah.
So as much as they can keep. Yeah, unfortunately we've had a bit of a crash. Jordo, he's dropped. So we will have a rehost right now. And there he goes. He's gone, unfortunately. So we should be getting this going in just a moment. But I mean, look, it could have happened at a worse time. It is gonna stall things out just a little bit. But I mean, it could have happened like 2 rounds ago and stalled things out in the middle of play when the momentum was there. But right now, Underground, they're still waiting for confirmation.
Still waiting.
I mean, realistically, yeah, there was no interaction between either side. It was early enough in the round that it should be given the go-ahead, I imagine. Again, I am not an admin, I don't know.
Yeah, don't know just yet. Well, hopefully we'll see that sort of a cut. And certainly, well, the rehost has been confirmed, I believe. So we are going to be going back to us for a brief moment to talk about what has been happening up until now. A 6-3 scoreline, a Underground domination so far, at least within LPL Pro, within context of the play between themselves and Warriors, with the fact that Warriors are technically not playing in a full 5-man core roster. We kind of looking at, well, Underground starting to shape up like a team that could be that really kind of spooky team to be contested. But the issue being, the moment they get derailed from their general play, I mean, shout out to Team 7, who's shown us that very thing, the moment they're being almost matched, if not overmatched by the sheer aggression, we're starting to see UG to fall apart. Now, as long as UG are being given the room for all that aggression, all the rotations, and being essentially left uncontested without even any sort of ability to move around, and when they're locked in, that's where they falter. So, idea being here is that essentially each and every team basically needs to return back to the very basics and go hyper-aggressive mode, and just take on those head-to-head gunfights. Because, I mean, you look at a number of the positions that UG played, whether it was defense or offense, apart from when they just about to collapse directly onto the side, majority of their presence has been in those 1v1, 1vx's. As long as you win your ones, that's your whole round winning formula. Unfortunately, though, it's obviously easier said than done, but kind of at the gist of it, that's kind of the whole solution there. And yes, I may sound like the guy that's saying, "Oh yeah, just shoot back forehead," but
Well, I mean, the main strategy that Team 7 employed to pick up that win against Underground was a numbers game. They overwhelmed positioning-wise. They made sure that they had the potential for a re-swing, a retrade whenever it was there. And shout out to our presenters, NZMA. They've joined up with us to throw together a NZQA-approved study course that you can get yourself some credits studying esports, learning the basics, learning everything that goes on behind the scenes. So if you are keen, set yourself up for a career in esports by learning these basics. It gives you that little foot up ahead of the competition. So make sure you go check that one out, NZMA. It's on their website. And from the sounds of it, it's pretty cool. You get yourself a little walkthrough of the studio as well. Obviously, unfortunately for those Australians, it is NZ-based, NZMA. It's kind of in the name.
Yeah.
But, I mean, that's a pretty cool opportunity that a lot of people... I mean, we weren't given that, unfortunately.
Yeah, look, it's definitely a phenomenal opportunity to get yourself started, to get yourself accustomed to kind of the general idea about what goes behind the scenes, how you do get into esports, and, well, how do you progress from there. So certainly would be worth to check them out and see what they can offer. But for us, look, I mean, we'll look at the round history for Underground and the Warriors. The only time that we've seen win, well, Warriors were able to defend the second attempt at Laundry Supply, and then Meeting Kitchen was the play. Anything else was kind of a bit of a forfeit there from them. Now going into the next round, well, it was Dorms and Kids' first iteration that has been won out by Warriors, and from there on again, everything has been kind of very much in the court of Underground Esports Club. So going into, once again, into Laundry. Now, previously they were able to defend it rather convincingly. Do we see Underground, well, wrap it all up right here, right now, make it a 7-3 and just call it a day?
Speaking of wrapping up Cthulhu, if you do want to win those R6 credits, this could be your last opportunity. There is potentially only one round left in this mat, and then we look to head towards the close of show. So if you don't get your tweets in, you don't get the opportunity to take those R6 credits away from me, because my tweet was kind of a banger. So it's a stiff competition. Make sure at LPL_R6S with the hashtag LPLR6S. Tell us what the best map is in Rainbow Six Siege and why, and you can take those 2,400 credits for yourself and deny me the opportunity to buy more Na'Vi skins.
Well, Underground looking to wrap it all up. I'm liking the lineup that they are bringing in, minus maybe MML's pick, but again, we've seen a number of the Warden picks. It's been kind of, the idea is obviously, well, to play against the sheer abundance of the flashbangs and the smoke grenades. And in the case of Warriors, well, the introduction of Ying will be a rather good operator to be countered by with Warden. So, look, not a bad idea, albeit more so it will depend on where exactly MML will really play with that MPX, because it's still a very, very dangerous piece of weaponry.
Most definitely. He's also bringing that Nitro Cell as well for a bit of denial should that plant attempt go down. Eraser over towards the small tower, wanting to contest the Warriors at the first step, which is that door being opened up right now. He's going to have the audio cues, the information, but for the moment it is going to be the pull off from the Warriors onto the drones, looking for that info. They are going to spot him out. The drone is playing parkour. He's going to get himself out of danger though. Wants to play it a little bit smarter, spots the player in the shower's hallway, but I do believe that is a Gemini.
Yeah, with the Gemini in play, Shant and the rest of the team are looking to kind of utilize it for those a little bit of a cheeky set of baits, with Culture getting the better of Eraser though. That is an unexpected initial frag, which will be making things a whole lot nicer and a whole lot snappier here for Warriors, given that Eraser has been a very big driving force there for Underground.
Yeah, he's fallen off a little bit going into the second half. I mean, the first half he was, what, almost 11-1. He's slowed down a wee bit right now. He's still only 1, but obviously it's after the rehost, so it doesn't really count. Minute 36 in play with the Warriors having that player advantage. They're clearing out a lot of utility. They're getting some good ground pre-fires from Culture. Not going to connect, unfortunately. And Boff still on this Ying could do some real damage.
Absolutely. Boff. That LNG, whilst very much underappreciated, could be dealing a whole lot of damage. I mean, even if he runs out of ammo, the reload time is rather quick as well. It's only just a usual kind of box magazine. Kaz already gets the better of MML. That's a big, big opener. No more Warden as well, and the pressure is about to start mounting.
JPK holding the angle on the big tower stairs.
Oi, oi.
Good night, Culture. Candela's heading in. JPK unfortunately going to eat the full force of them. So is Pinky, but JPK is good for a second. Box to 4 means no more Ying in play. JPK playing ring around the rosy by Pillar. Jordo has support from Triss, so they are going to be able to win out next gauge. But Pinku damaged and killed from Frieza is Zuve. The last player remaining here, sitting deep into elbow. Toxic Cannons thrown to try and deny. One above, one to the side. I don't think they are going to connect. Oh, they are. Jordo's forced up the plant, but the stuns are going to be good as well. Zuve chucking a Toxic Cannons to close, and the frag grenade just skates in. He's going to somehow survive thanks to the ADS. He's going to skirt around the nade. Spotted deep from blue into Tarves. And well, Jordo, he's going to go for the reattempt on the plant. E-box, the danger zone for him at the moment. Zuve on the reload, can't do it. Triss with a 44 Magnum kill to close the round.
Well, Warriors continuing to push for an attempt to make it in overtime. And whilst they are still very much behind Underground, it's still very much workable. 2-round differential yet again, but how long until the Warriors' kind of fortress will fall here? Because with each and every round, each and every push, the fatigue might start settling in as well. I mean, given we are getting into somewhat of a later stages of the evening, and
earlier than normal though.
Earlier than normal, of course, yes, absolutely. But you know, certain things could still happen. And well, for Warriors, the moment they got close to equalizing the round count, it always was Underground that kept on just pushing away, and it's something that is very much worth keeping a note of. So now into a second iteration of this site yet again, and at least judging by the general pacing and general kind of script, well, UG might just be able to win out this round as well.
Monty was hovered there by Boff, not going to be in play, unfortunately. Switches out for the Ying instead, which, I mean, to be fair, I kind of rate the Ying. It did work, it did get them into the bunker, it did then unfortunately die, but, I mean, you take your victories where you can right now. 2 rounds needed for the Warriors to take us to our second overtime of the night. Underground need but 1 to close it out and bring our evening towards its end. Pinku getting aggressive towards Garage. Ducks himself back down. Laundry says, unfortunately, we'll have to pop that barricade that he put up just moments ago, and we'll replace it in quick time.
Well, UG will get a chance once again to try to contest and hold off the push. Zuve, though, already out. Flopped, flogged, and flipped over into the grave, basically, by Kaz. Phenomenal swing, yet again, showing that Ying LMG is a very scary piece of threat, piece of utility.
That's your smoke gone, though. That's the big thing. Unfortunately for the Warriors, Shant is not going to last much longer than Zuve did. JPK is a bit of a fiend with this MX4 Storm, obviously. We're seeing that. He's much the same when it comes to the Finker as well. Right now, Triss wants to get himself some control. They want to get top Laundry at the very least so they can start pressuring down. Even if they clear out Kitchen as well, that'd be huge. But in security, the drone in is going to reveal the position. JPK back into the Kitchen. If they can deal with him right now in this position, the Candela is going to be going in. Unfortunately, JPK is going to eat the full white screen, but still gets himself out of danger.
Yeah, a lot of Candelas are being used up just to essentially allow and give that extra confidence for Warriors to make an entry. Without Iana, well, it's basically kind of reverting down to either just one person droning people out, or just face-checking each one of the angles, which is not particularly healthy for Warriors either. So we might be looking at a rather scary prospect there for Warriors as the breach is starting to happen. A minute remaining before we see the conclusion of possibly the final round of this map.
Oh dear, Warriors trying to figure out where they want to be heading. Looks like there's going to be that split push towards Laundry, and I would have to hope Freezer as well. The E-box drop I don't think would pay out too well for them at the moment, given the angles that UG are currently holding. Laundry pop, prone angle there as well. If they can spot JPK, the utility dump is going in nice and deep there from the smokes. Cutting off a lot of vision. The crossfire, that's great from Pinku. Takes down Culture, that's your Pinku gone. Candela's in deep. Pinku forced off the angle, but into Freezer. It's going to be Kaz and Jordo somehow. The big kills coming through for the Warriors. JPK brings it back to 2-2. Erases there. And Underground Esports will deny in the dying moments. Not risking it going to overtime. They just hold on.
my goodness, the sheer amount of just switching between the different positions, different angles and targets. I mean, well played, Underground. Certainly looking much more confident in their play, and it seems like that is going to be kind of the general gist of it by the end of it all.
Big stuff out of Underground. They deny before we go to full regulation. And I mean, JPK, understandably, absolutely massive, not just on the finger, but proving Alibi is a pretty competitive operator for him as well. I mean, across the board, Underground just played a phenomenal game.
Yeah, absolutely. Underground definitely did a pretty solid play overall, very confident, and I think that was kind of the base idea, just get back into the confidence swing of things, up your confidence in just deciding where and when to take those certain gunfights. And I mean, yeah, they've played for time pretty well, despite some initial unfortunate losses. It's been a rather still spectacular play from them, apart from just unfortunate couple of rounds that they did lose to Warriors. But Warriors back at that point were able to read into a number of plays and were able to find those initial frags. Just unfortunately, by the conclusion of that round, well, couldn't really find any further momentum after finding the initial frag.
Yeah, I mean, it's big stuff, especially bouncing back after their loss last week to Team 7 to come in and take down the Warriors the way that they did. It's going to be big. We do have MML from Underground Esports coming in for a chat. Welcome, mate. You pick up another win. I mean, look, talk us through. Last week you lose to Team 7. What prep did you guys do coming into this week to stop it from happening again?
You know, we really scrimmed really hard last week, and we had a few scrims this week, and our prep sort of got ruined by Zuby getting a dog bite yesterday, and his hand was sort of scuffed. That's why he didn't play well.
Right.
But yeah, we really tried hard.
So are we blaming the carpet or the dog bite for the impact? Or is that just Zuby?
That's just Zuby.
That's just Zuby. Right, understandable. Look, I mean, going into the matchup against Warriors, obviously a team that somewhat plays a similar kind of play style to what Team 7 was able to demonstrate previously. Were there any concerns going into Oregon, or was this just more so an idea about the confidence play? Oh.
Well, look, another quick, succinct interview. Unfortunately, we lost his connection there. But, I mean, look, they're confident, they're putting in the work, and obviously it's paying out for them. What a day for them. They pick up the win. We had 2 7-4s. We get one overtime, and, well, 1 7-0. Not a bad day on the whole. Not a bad day on the whole.
No, yeah. Pretty much, yeah. Not a bad day at all. Yeah, look, all filled with a pretty solid set of rounds. And I mean, look, probably the biggest highlight has to be, well, Team 7's performance against Odium, and it's been absolutely stunning.
Let's have a look at the leaderboard as it stands after tonight, of course, and our 3 matches technically that we've played. As it stands, Underground sit atop the leaderboard with Antic and Altered Zalios finding themselves in 3rd, Odium dropping from 1st into 4th. A bit of a shake-up across the board. And yes, you're right, 16-20 Kings do escape bottom of the leaderboard.
Yeah, with Onami now unfortunately sitting at the very bottom of the leaderboard. Onami just can't seem to be able to find themselves any sort of closure given the unfortunate results and the forfeit. Look, yeah, it's kind of cool to see actually that the Underground, Antic, and Altered Zalios are the ones to be at the top of the leaderboard, but at least 16-20 Kings, they're finally kind of moving off the bottom.
Yeah, I mean, it sets us up for a very interesting week 5. Already we crossed the halfway mark here in the season. We've got 3 weeks remaining. Next week will be obviously week 4, then 5. It's pretty simple stuff. Next week, though, we've got some big matches, of course. Kicking it off, it'll be Odium taking on 16-20 Kings. Match 2, Vodafone Warriors versus Team 7. Now, that one is going to be an interesting one. Match 3, it's going to be Antic versus Underground Esports. We'll see if maybe, just maybe, Antic can go toe-to-toe with them. And closing it out, it will be Onami taking on Altered Zalios. Another match that could have some interesting connotations on the leaderboard. But, I mean, having a look back at today, is this how we expected it to go?
Honestly, not particularly, really. I mean, the Odium versus Team 7 is probably the biggest upset that I kind of didn't foresee happening, but was rather pleasantly surprised. On the side of Altered Zalios versus 16-20 Kings, it was just a nice kind of tussle between the two, I suppose, friendly parties. And then, well, the Warriors game versus Underground, it was more so just about answering a question whether the last week's performance, I nearly said last year's performance, last week's performance for Underground, it was it just an unfortunate kind of hiccup, or whether they were just kind of lacking the performance there?
Well, coming into next week, of course, we head into week 5, the downhill stretch of the stage, and it really is just that mad dash for top 4 at the moment. It's anyone's to take right now. So when we come back next week, we'll figure out just how that trajectory continues. But for tonight, we're done. Cthulhu, it's time to go home. We'll see you guys next week.
Tango in my sights.
Now it's time for New Belt Nitro Simply!